living here in Jersey, fighting villains from afar. You gotta find first gear in your giant robot car. You dig giant robots, I dig giant robots, we dig giant robots, chicks dig giant robots. Nice.
Hello, weeaboos and sheaboos. Welcome to the Anime Boomers podcast. It has definitely been a November to remember. Got a lot of corpos crashing out, a lot of voice actors crashing out, VTubers crashing out. Everybody's crashing out. Everybody's losing their freaking minds. And mind you, we're only 8 days in to this month, and all heck is breaking loose. And watching the circus, watching everybody go crazy are my co-hosts. First, you know him as the head of Anime Outsiders, Cody.
Hi, everybody. Hello. It's so wonderful and magical for you to join us today on this most wonderful and magical of podcast episodes.
The one time a year, well, the one time every, I guess, 4 years when we, typically on this podcast, we don't talk about politics or sector stuff, but it just seems like everything at this particular moment in time is all crashing together in one giant amorphous blob of what
Big
the hell?
soup.
Yeah, big
thick brown soup.
Yeah, like the meme with the gorilla in the milk. That's like, hang on, kid. It's like, I got something important to tell you. That's what's happening. Everything's crashing
in
together.
The gorilla soup.
We got one big giant pile of gorilla soup. And last but not least, you know him as Necro13, the first VTuber, first English VTuber,
unverified, as we all know.
But it's fun to joke about. Oh, wow, we already have a super chat. This is from Tomak for 20. Says, so what is your guys over under on the Fairy Tail 2 game being censored on the day one patch like the first one? We're going to talk a little bit about censorship stuff like we do on pretty much every episode of the podcast, but I would give sadly, but I would give it a very high likelihood. It seems like this is becoming pretty common now with games will release like uncensored, like games where, part of the appeal of the game is like that they're slightly lewd, and then they release it and then they just immediately patch it. Unfortunately, that's probably very likely, so you might want to hang on to your money and see if they do that.
Yeah.
Something I didn't think about until like halfway or 3/4 away through the song is that you use gas as the opener, and like that's what we're looking at today is crash outs. I didn't get that until now.
Yeah. So many crash outs.
He's playing a lot of 4D, 5D chess right now, but Gator's been in this biz for a while. He knows what he's doing.
I know the memes. I can see, see the skull, the part of bone removed.
Well, before we get into all that, I feel like I'll do a short bit, keep things on topic with anime here. I did just last night go and see the Overlord movie, which is now playing in theaters.
I was gonna go see it tomorrow. I'm so hype. This arc is so good.
Yes. So have you read the books?
I've gotten part way through. I need to go find that website. I bookmarked it on my old PC and then I lost it. Where someone had gone through and like translated the light novels. Yeah.
So. As someone that read them as they were getting translated, it's a varying degrees of quality translation, but this is desperate. I'm kind of enthusiastic about this series. I really likes it. I was very happy with this movie. I was going in bracing myself for like all the shit that I liked getting cut because it's 2 books into 1 movie. And I was like, how the hell are they going to do that? How are they going to condense both of those books, because it's like a 2-parter story arc, so it's like 2 books in 1 movie, and I was surprised at how well they pulled it off. One of the things they did was they condensed scenes, like if 2 scenes happen at different times, they just had the events kind of happen all at once, I don't want to get into spoilers or anything, but I will say like there were a couple times when there was an event that happened in this city, and then an event that happened somewhere else, like a battle, and they just had them both happen at the same time, like one through the other, and they just kind of combined things.
But in a
It was
way
actually-
that didn't actually like mess with the canon or anything.
Yeah, it was very smooth how they did it. My literally only gripe, and this is a small gripe, is that there were like, so, I mean, you can't really spoil that this is a thing because the last arc of season 4 takes place after this movie. So, shocker, when they say Ainz dies, he doesn't actually fucking die. And then the books kind of goes into this was like a side thing to he wanted to see what people would do if they thought he was dead, and kind of backfired that he's so powerful no one believed it. So what would they do if he died? Everybody would go, nah, bullshit, he's not dead.
Yeah, show me a body. Show me
yeah,
a body
exactly.
and I'll believe you.
And in the books, they cut to some people in the Sorcerer Kingdom reacting to it. And I was a little bummed because they cut to Karn Village. And that's when we get to see how Karn Village is doing after the events of, like, you know, the Goblin Army and everything. And I was happy with that little interlude because I liked seeing that Karn Village was thriving and Inferia was getting him some. So I was a little I was hoping maybe there'd be a stinger. They'll do the little cutaways or something. There was like, I think it was like 2 scenes, and one of them was Karn Village or something like that. And we see, like, you know, that's where the dwarves are doing the runecraft thing now, is in Karn. And I was hoping we'd see that, and we didn't. I was hoping we'd see the fact that Jerk Neve is now like besties with the Quagua leader. Remember the dude that was like killing dwarves?
Oh yeah.
And then Nazarick subjugated them. Yeah, they became best friends because they're both like, fuck it, man. We lost our sovereignty to the fucking Sorcerer King, and they just like friends through adversity. And that was a fun little aside. I was like, oh, I see that, but I kind of went in knowing they'd probably cut it. Just so there are fun cutaways in the books. It's a good reason to read the books. But literally everything else they managed to fit. I was shocked. I thought like some of the stuff with Naya and Shizu bonding, I thought would get cut. I was like, man, they might rush through that. No, they didn't. Like so many scenes just kind of were like smoothly compacted together, so like they happened all at once instead of different times. And having read the books and watched the movie, it never had that feeling like there were a couple times during the anime where like events of the books just felt glossed over. It's like, hey, wait a minute, come back. That was cool. Don't skim that. And I didn't. And surprisingly, considering they're fitting all this in a movie, I never felt that. They even kept the fucking shit that quote unquote Yaldabaoth did to the Queen. Which
my god! See, I know about that, so I'm excited to see that scene.
Oh, you gonna see it. You gonna see SEE it because like I thought even if they do like depict it right, it'll be real quick because they describe it in the book and how brutal it is. Nah, they don't do it real quick.
Oh my god,
this shit is graphic.
Jeez Louise.
The second time Yaldabaoth shows up with his quote unquote weapon, oh, they show that too. They didn't skim.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so you know. So I was very pleased. I was pleased as punch because again, I was braced. Like, man, it's probably gonna be good, but there's probably gonna be because that's how I felt with like the final arc of season 4, the war on Riestes. I was like, there's like little things, especially the brain fight. There was like details about that. Like, no, don't skip that. That makes it more impactful. You are lessening the impact of very specific things that you are skipping. But not oddly enough, like the series that had all these episodes to do it, I felt that way. But not this movie. So I emphatically recommend this movie. And they got both dubbed and subbed, so whichever way you like your Overlord, they had them both in theaters. If you liked Overlord, man, if you read the book, watch this shit. It's fucking round of applause. I could not have been more satisfied with how they adapted this arc. Except for maybe like the little scenes that I wanted to see. And even then, I don't know where they'd fit them. So it was probably right to cut them, even if I liked them. So yeah, Overlord, the Sacred Kingdom, fucking watch that shit. Inject it into your veins. It's great. It's fantastic. It's my little movie review to start us off before we get to making fun of people. There's our joy.
There's the happy segment. Well, I'm glad that it sounds like the movie's really fantastic. I can't wait to go to theaters to see it. It feels like, I think the last time I went to theaters to see a movie, I think it was Resurrection F.
Oh God, yeah, I saw that.
I think
too.
that was the last thing I saw in theaters that was anime.
You didn't see the Broly movie in theaters?
No,
Super
I
Broly
couldn't.
movie?
I couldn't.
Ah.
I was like literally like working like all the time during that.
Yeah, I saw that one in theater. That was a good theater experience because there's something about them theater speakers when that weird, the weird song that would kick in. That was like the go Broly. You know what I'm talking about? That shit sounded good in a theater.
Oh heck
That
yeah!
shit had kick. That was a good. Yeah, I didn't see Superhero in theaters though. I think that was like middle of the.
Yeah, I didn't get to
the
see
Funimation
Superhero in
debacle.
theaters either.
That was the middle of the debacle, and I just didn't want to give any of those people money at the time.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a perfect segue into kind of our first segment here. So something big happened on Tuesday.
Oh, what? I missed it. I was playing video games. What happened?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Tomoe Umari did not win the presidency. I saw a lot of fans of the Umarmi voted for her, posted it on Twitter. Unfortunately, she did not win president of the United States, and Vice President Pipkin, unfortunately. But somebody did win the presidency of the United States, and a lot of people are not happy about it. We're fine, we're doing great. I'm excited about my tax bill going down, but
I just bought a house. I'm pleased as punch.
Yeah,
I just bought a house and I plan on having kids, and they're talking about a tax break for having kids. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. And chat says she's president of our hearts, though. That is very true.
Yes, it's true.
That is very true.
Yes.
But yeah, people have not been too pleased about it, and it's not like the normal reactions that you would expect, or it's just like a little bit of anguish, but everybody just kind of whatever. It's an election, things happen.
Well, it's funny. I was saying to some of the guys in AO, we're probably not going to get as funny reactions this time because I feel like there was more resignation to like it was more inevitable than in 2016, where there was like they delude themselves like, oh, there's hope. Like the dude was leading in the polls, and like Trump, when he wins, doesn't lead in the poll. They were fixing the polls against him, and he was leading the polls. At that point, like, nah, he's going landslide incoming. Brace yourselves. And there was cope, but I feel like there was more resignation this time. So it was a much different flavor of react. We got the screams, right? We got the no's of this time.
Yeah,
but
I can't bring up the one about the glass parking lot. I think that one might actually violate YouTube terms of service. But
the voice actors were definitely on parade, being ridiculous. Like, it's funny. Technically, I was right. The reactions weren't quite what they were in 2016, but luckily, the bubble of the mean girl bubble that is the voice acting industry still. I mean, a lot of them are, emotionally stunted.
Yeah.
So they still
came
came in
bluntly.
Yeah, they came in clutch and gave us some ridiculous. I think the difference between this and 2016 was instantaneous rage. This is like the result of seething. This boiled over. This was like more dramatic. Like instead of screaming no to the sky, it was like, "How for art thou voteth for Trump? How could you?" Like there's a lot of that.
How dare you?
How dare you, sir? It was a lot more of that. Like instead of smashing walls, they busted out Yorick's skull for this one, and that's kind of what we got here.
Yeah, I see. I pulled up the tweet from Jamie Markey here, where she said, maybe it's not Gen Z or millennials or Gen X or the boomers. It's the billionaires. And that's one thing I've seen a lot of seething about is Elon. Elon tipping his hat into the arena, and they've been very angry about it.
Yeah, not all the other billionaires that were helping you. No, those are good. The good ones. No, the one billionaire that didn't want to play with your gay little club.
You know, the weird thing about the Elon hate is that if you talk to people outside of the internet, most of the time they're pretty okay with Elon. Now, depending on the industries that you go into, because in my experience in the automotive industry, not the same one as like Dave's 16 years as a helicopter support guy or whatever the fuck he did. The thing is, the automotive industry, like when I was in there, they hated everything that Elon Musk was doing because, again, he's just kind of doing his own thing and said, hey, I got a car that's $30,000 and it's electric and you can just have fun with it. Go drive around. And then people got mad because they're not buying American made cars, despite the fact that Teslas are more American made than like our Chevys are. Fun fact. But the weird billionaire throwing under the bus thing is very strange because Kamala Harris has literally been getting all of these billionaires, these multimillionaire artists, rappers, whoever, to show up on stage. And like right before the show started, I was doing a little doom scrolling as one does. And there's performers that she had hired for like this post-election party, like for winning, which, you know, as you can see, it didn't happen. I think she owed them like $20 million and now they're afraid they're not going to get paid. But don't worry, guys. Elon Musk, the bad one.
Yeah, it's like, didn't her campaign spend like, I want to say it was like $1 billion, like several hundred million more than Trump? Like it's crazy.
Where do you think that money came from, Jamie? You think that was grassroots? Really? You think that was grassroots?
It was a handful of billionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so fascinating to me when these people will make one claim or another until their side does it. Like, they have no principles. Like, say what you will about the most annoying Groiper type, right? But they have their little checklist. And if you don't meet their checklist, then you're dead to them. And as insufferable and autistic as they are, at least they've got this kind of principled thing going on where, like, you gotta meet the checklist. And these people don't have a checklist. It's just, this is my team. Whatever my team does is good. Whatever the other team does is bad. And it's, I think, in a way, it's helpful for everyone else. Because there's always been historically that, you know, oh, how could this bad guy rise to power? Wouldn't the people stop it? And we're seeing in real time, this is why. This is how. So, you know, it's kind of heavy, a little heavy topic. But I think it's important to kind of just just notice these kind of things.
Well, because it puts everything in
context.
Bad.
Yeah. You can't notice too much, otherwise they get really mad at that.
I'm noticing. It's like learn from it, you know what I mean? Like, that's how. That's how.
Well, it's like I said on Twitter. It's like the media has just been gaslighting people for so long that they believe these like wild, crazy, and contradictory things. So at the same time that, you know, they're like, money is ruining politics. I'm like, actually, yeah, it is. Then why did you guys spend so much money on politics? Well, because if we didn't, the other side would have spent a bunch of money. And I'm like, but if you took the money out of politics, then how could they spend the money on politics? Like, how do you square that circle? It's crazy. Like, you get into these like circular arguments with people. It's like, you know, and not just the voice actors, like the VTubers too. Like, I had this argument with a guy the other day where I pointed out, I'm like, and it wasn't just me, like Armchair pointed it out too. It's just like, if you work for a company or you aspire to work for a company, you're always like representing yourself and potentially representing a company. So you have to be very careful the stuff that you put out there. Because the one thing, like if you're a VTuber that's aspiring to be part of a corporation, the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to give them a reason not to hire you, because corpos are always and this is what people need to understand, especially because a lot of VTubers now are in the 25 and under category, the aspiring VTubers, and they haven't quite learned the lesson that the rest of us hags and sages have learned, which is when you're trying to, position yourself to get a job, they're looking for excuses not to hire you rather than excuses to hire you. And they'll pick like the tiniest little minute things and they'll be deal breakers. One of the things you'd never want to do is you never want to set yourself up alienating half your audience right off the bat. And in some cases, more than half, because I think VTubing in the West tends to be more of like a center-right kind of deal. So it's probably like a 55% of your audience deal. So you don't want to talk about like politics on Maine if you can absolutely help it if you're a VTuber. And there's obvious exceptions. People like, Kirsha or somebody like me that's already quasi-political, has a track record. Like, yeah, we understand like that we're going to alienate some of our audience, but we accept that. But if you're somebody that wants to like make it big or whatever, or like join Hollow Live or something, you probably shouldn't be, spurging on Maine.
Oh, like, I think people get upset if you lure them in with apolitical content and then drop politics. Like, right. Kirsha makes up front, like, she's basically a commentary VTuber. So you know what you're getting into when you watch Kirsha. You don't want to watch, like, a VTuber that, yeah, I'm going to play video games and do music, and then they just start proselytizing about trans rights or whatever. It's like, I didn't sign up for this. You told me to come in here for cute girls doing cute things. Ain't nothing cute about your lecturing. And like, you need to make that part of your brand if you're going to do that. And if you're going to do that, you need to have a level head about it. Because if you spurg about it, then you're just annoying. And that's like with Kirsha. Kirsha, she'll mock people and she'll be kind of mean. But she never gets on a high horse and just goes nuts about something. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
She never like goes on a tirade. I think that's it. It's a tirade.
Yeah. She doesn't try to force. She doesn't try to be like, get on people in her chat and like try to tell them it's like, no, you're wrong because this and this. She's not preaching. She's just telling what she thinks and her perspectives.
It's the difference between, if on non-VTuber terms, it's the difference between when Asmongold talks politics and Hassan.
Yes, exactly.
It's not just their political alignment. It's the way in which they go about things. And,
well, the other thing. Sorry to interrupt. But the one thing about when all of this was happening, to give everyone background, me and another friend, Chen Poster, in the chat, we were watching all of this happen, and we're more or less pretty apolitical. So if the policies that we had heard from like someone from the Democrats, we would have probably taken those policies, but they were just much better because we've seen it with a tried and true record of Donald Trump. And that's fine. And to be fair, I didn't even fill out my ballot because I'm still registered to vote in California despite not being there. But like my vote would have went.
So you went to Kamala.
Yeah, so it would have went, and anyways, it would have went there. Yeah. Thankfully, the county that it was in was red. But regardless, we were pretty apolitical, and we made sure to put out statements on Twitter before, and they were pretty normal. Like, no matter what happens or no matter what the output is of whatever this is, just know that everything's going to be fine. If you disagree with someone, it is fine to do that too. And exactly. We lost a friend over the entire weekend, and Gator knows what it is, but it's like you really can't win with the gaslit people that are always looking to, to distance themselves because they think because you voted this way, you must be the most radical right-winger ever in the entire world. When in all honesty, we're pretty close to the middle. And then seeing that translated into the VTubers, like you brought up earlier, Gator knows this, I found a bunch of VTubers crashing out, and I'm sorry, but when I look at what are essentially my co-workers, the VTubers saying something about like how if you voted for Trump, then unfollow me right now. I don't want you in my community. There's people that saying that Trump supporters should be shot. That was another thing that I read. And again, Gator's seen all of this, so it's not like it's like not known, but it's like I compiled all of these. it's just the weirdest thing to crash out over. And again, we were already in this presidency back in 2016, 2017. So everything is proven. And seeing people kind of go out of their way to alienate not just friends or mutuals or things like that, but they go out of their way to alienate their fans, which is 50% because we've seen the numbers. He won the popular vote, which is something that hadn't been done since when? 2008?
2004 Bush,
correctly?
actually, yeah.
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 Post
Yeah, so
9/11,
it's like-
Bush was the last time the GOP won the popular vote.
Yeah, it's like we've seen all of these things. And so I'm going to read to you some tweets that I saw. One of them by a small, I wouldn't even call it a corpo because it's kind of just a group, trying to be a corpo. But one of the tweets reads, "There's still time for someone to not miss."
I saw that tweet. Yeah, that was, I was like, bro, like you're tweeting that from your like main VTuber account. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yep, there's one that says, God, I just fucking know I'm gonna have to be around annoying and racist crackhead white people all day tomorrow talking about Trump. Someone call a bump vet to my job. Gonna have even more anxiety about bolder and louder racism being the only person with melanin where I live. I'm ashamed to be an American tonight, fellas, is another one. Another one that just kind of showed off their model and hasn't really streamed at all from what I could remember. Does anyone know how to aim? That was another one. And then another mutual that I know that Gator,
aim.
yeah, aim. One of my favorite sounds. Yo, the cops are on their way. It's great. But the other mutual that I had to disengage with like weeks prior to this, because you can kind of tell that like their mind's not in the right spot. And because this person said, at the end of the day, we're all Americans, regardless of what side ended up winning. We as Americans should be there for one another. I'm looking forward to what these next 4 years have in store for us. Keep your head up. It's going to be okay. Pretty positive message.
Yeah.
Shithead comes in and says, Lamau, fuck off, man. I'm sorry. I'm not going to respect or be here for people that have no empathy for human beings and want to revoke rights across the board. They're a lost cause in my eyes. And the fundamental like message of being an American is that we, no matter how we vote, we're all in this struggle together. And if you can't respect the other person's opinion of how they vote and not knowing the reasons, by the way, then maybe this just isn't for you.
Well,
The
here's
corporate-
here's
the
the
corp-
deeper.
yeah.
Oh, well, let's say the deeper problem that is causing a lot of this, of what you're seeing, is that these people are worked up so much because what we're essentially living through, for the last almost a decade now, is this is an attempted coup by the mentally ill against normalcy.
Yeah, that's a
These
good
are
way to
people-
put it.
Yeah. These have been people that are in some way, shape, or form damaged, either, some kind of mental illness, some kind of trauma they never got over, and it's the rest of the world's fault and not like the stepdad that touched him or whatever. Their stepdad was a man, so now all men are evil, that kind of thing. Or just people that had really crappy home lives that basically brought into a cult. That at some point, people realized these people were useful to attain power and began working them up into a frenzy in order to use them as brown shirts or some other kind of power base. And what we are seeing now are those people who were promised the world. They were promised that the rules will be rewritten so that you will be the winners. You've basically been, and I don't really mean this in the colloquial sense. I mean this in a different sense. Like, you've basically been losers, right? You've been kicked around. You're not succeeding in life. You're not succeeding in one way or another. So what we're going to do is rewrite the rules rather than you having to change anything about yourself so that you then instead become a winner. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change. Stay in your comfort zone, and we'll just rewrite the rules of the world so that you're the winner. And those people you hate and envy, they're the losers now. That's what they were promised. And the minute Trump got reelected in a landslide, that promise was revoked. Because it was already, the writing was already on the wall. People focus on the woke thing. This is like deeper. This is like
Yeah, the woke
deeper
thing is
than
up
that.
front. The woke thing
Yeah,
is very
that's up front.
surface level.
That's like a manifestation of this. It's when and oh, woke's on its way out. Well, that was like more symptomatic of this greater thing, that the coup is failing, and it was doomed to fail because you're not, you can't. I mean, this sounds so ridiculous. This almost sounds like a 4-year-old saying this, but it's true. You can't win if you're a loser. There's a reason you're failing. There's a reason you failed.
It's true.
And you're not going to, well, yeah, but if we band together in numbers and act real scary, then we'll win. No, it doesn't work like that. It might be temporary because people will be caught off guard and they're comfortable, Once you make it so now they're not comfortable anymore, they're going to clap back to be comfortable again. Like, yeah, people are tepid when they're comfortable. But if they know comfort and you take it away, you did, especially in places like America and in the West, they're going to snap back.
Well, to add on to that is like whatever happened, during this election, I think that I saw a lot of the mutuals and a lot of people I follow. They were very unhappy, and that's normal to be unhappy. I get that, but when I go to your profile and it's all performative, and you're telling people, like, again, the mentally ill, and you're telling them that they don't need to be a part of your community, and I know that there's someone that made the argument, like, to Gator, about how their goal isn't to be in a corpo, or they just want to make content. It doesn't really matter, because at some point they're trying to turn this into a job. There was someone,
Right.
maybe not even a couple of weeks ago, that was like, streaming should, like, your 5 viewers, like, you need to, like, treat this as a job. Like, this is real. Like, they need to start supporting you. And it's like, no, now you sound like DSP. Now you're sounding like you're streaming for the bag, and that's mental illness. Like, you should just stream because you like to stream. I, however, can't stream because all of my streams are fucking scuffed. So if you guys are wondering, they're always terrible. But you know what I mean? It's like the mentally ill are telling you that you're not the normal one. And look at what happened right after Trump got reelected. They immediately went on the mainstream media. They went on social media. They went on TikTok, everywhere. And they said, these people don't care about human rights. They don't care about LGBTQIA plus people. They don't care about people of color, and like all of this other stuff, everything that you can imagine. And that's not how you get people on your side. And they've been doing it for the past 4 years, of calling the people that are conservatives pretty much uneducated, stupid, and they're Nazis, they're homophobes, transphobes.
Slurs.
Like,
they've literally just been calling the people they don't like slurs, albeit slurs that they're allowed to say on social media.
Socially acceptable slurs, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's literally what it
now
is.
look
And then
at
they're wondering,
4chan.
they're wondering
you saw
why
that.
people are like, yeah, you know what? We're going to vote for the orange guy because you guys have basically been calling us socially acceptable slurs for the last, like, forever, and we're done with it. Yeah, I saw
And a lot of
4chan
it
where you
too.
can't say certain words anymore.
Yeah, 4chan they're getting more out racist by Reddit, which is alarming to me. And it's just like leaking over into Twitter. They're just like, oh, I knew it. My neighbor is illegal, and I'm gonna call the cops on them. I knew they wouldn't vote. Here's
the white pill for you, though. This is a sign that basically they're done. Like, this isn't. You remember that scene from Dark Knight Rises, where Bane was in the office with that guy, and the guy was like, he was barking orders to Bane. Bane just says something to the effect of, "Do you feel in control?
Do you feel in charge?
Yeah, do you feel in charge?" And that's what this is. Like,
Do you think that gives you power over me?
yeah, like when these are a lot of people that are used to having their way. This has been this sort of coup by the mentally ill. Well, it's been 10 years going. It's been a longer time than that in the making. Because this is basically, I'm not saying it's a grand conspiracy. Like, you don't need a conspiracy to do something that seems common sense to somebody, right? So if you want, this is, people trying to consolidate power and using gullible people to do that, and who's more gullible than damaged people? So,
and we're not talking about liberals, just by the way. So if you voted blue, we're not talking about you. It's the literal, like, 1% of the mentally ill that are wishing death upon you.
Exactly. And like, quote unquote, the elites, right? That's why you had a lot of, you're this, you're this, and you see that in like the news media and stuff. Like you're this, you're this, you're this. Because these people are just used to just saying, I say it, that means it's true, you do it. And there we go. I am in charge. And again, now they don't feel in charge. And they're, oh, pardon me, God, that slipped out. They're lashing out. And that is the big white pill. Is now we can all sit on our lounging chairs with a tasty drink in hand and watch the fire and watch the burning building crumble down to dust into a pile of embers, because that's what's going on right now. It's a beautiful time to be alive, because we are essentially at the beginning of the end of something that has been plaguing our society since before we were all this sort of scheming elite. The backroom scheming, running, quote unquote Illuminati. It's not. I know it's not a real Illuminati, but let's call it the Illuminati, so I don't have to use 20 words to describe it. This Illuminati is dying, and it refuses. It's like the villain at the end of the movie cursing the protagonist, saying, you haven't won. I'm not through yet, when clearly they are.
And then they trip and fall into the shark tank. We're at the point right before the villain runs away saying, I'll get you for this, and trips over the cord and falls into the shark tank.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to point out is Scott, he said, I appreciate that Tomoe had the right response to this whole thing. She's an entertainer above all, and her political opinion doesn't matter.
No, I think you cut out there.
No, I thought that was me for a second. That's what I was seeing. He's right though.
Oh, it could just be me. But when you're an entertainer, you have to make sure that you're a front-facing person to everyone. And there's other VTubers that have side accounts or ones that no one knows about, and they are just going at it with their opinions, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone's human, and we all have opinions. Absolutely acceptable. But when you are in a corporate setting or in a professional setting, being a content creator, your words do have weight. And I know Dave says it all the time, because you have to remember I'm brain rotted, so none of this is going to make sense. But we're brain rotted now. But everybody has opinions, and that's perfectly fine. That's what helps us get healthy conversation, is that we talk to people. Kojima made a game about this. so when we get to the point of professionals, or at least in Tomoe's case, which is kind of the thing that we're doing, she just said, I don't have an opinion, I'm just an entertainer, I'm an anime girl on the internet, just hang on out and just enjoy the ride.
She just made a bit out of it, vote for Tomoe, the horse girl president,
a mayor. She's not just an American, she's a mayor who can.
Exactly. Which is great.
She kind of it was kind of inevitable, her being a soldier in real life and her character being in the army. Politics were gonna tap on her door, and she had a great way of answering it, a masterclass way of answering it. Made a bit out of it, made a meme out of it. Didn't actually throw her hat win with anybody. And honestly, I've said before, VTubers, unless it's a career show, was up front and center. That's the bit. VTubers should not be political, because you're supposed to be playing a character. You live in a virtual world. There is no Donald Trump in the virtual world. There's no Donald Trump in Phase World. You know what I mean?
Listen here. I will have you know that there is Black Ops 6 Bill Clinton. That is a real thing. so that is now real, just for the record. But I absolutely agree. And again, it's when you're a professional and the front face, that's what it is. And unfortunately, I uninstalled Twitter yesterday, because I actually had real life stuff going on. It had nothing to do with any of the election stuff. And I reinstalled it today, just so that way I was a little bit ready. And I log in. The first thing I see is someone from Niji Sanji posting all the numbers to these hotlines for the you-know-whos. And
it was spooky. I saw that.
Yeah, you know exactly, without even you saying the name. Everybody, I think, listening knew exactly who you were talking about. Which member of Niji Sanji would do that, I wonder?
Man, it's like the
The
ones that are
racist one?
Yeah. And so it's like mind-boggling to me because again, the other corpos have set the best example. You are an entertainer, just do your job. Leave all that other shit at the door and you just come here to work and just make content for people to enjoy because that's what it is at the end of the day. Like people know that I'm not apolitical, but I kind of have a mixture of both. Like there's some stuff on the liberal side that I agree with, and there's some stuff on the conservative side I agree with more. Sometimes it just happens. But if you asked me like last week who I'm gonna vote for, it's like, bro, it's registered in California. You already know how this is gonna be. It wouldn't matter. but you know, again, I tell everyone the same thing. It's I look at what I used to have and I look at what I have now. I didn't share my opinions with anyone on the internet. They wouldn't have known that unless they like hyper focused in on I wonder what Necro thinks about the situation in the Middle East. I don't have any
You're a
opinion.
Foreign policy VTuber.
Yeah, I could be the foreign policy guy, but I'm not gonna do that either. And I think the one thing that has come out of this is again, you get to see who's mentally there and wants to genuinely be an entertainer, and then the other ones are the ones that don't want you anywhere near them and they make it your problem. It's just there's been a lot of crashing out, and it's not just from like big corpo VTubers, but it's been a lot of indies, a lot of them.
Speaking of VTuber indie tweets.
Okay, listen, the crystal thing is great.
I Crystal is the best meme of this election.
I don't know where it fucking came from, but I love it.
Exactly. I am now going to be in there. Yeah, I'm gonna be in the Trump administration. Apparently, you know, we all get a choice, and depending on who you vote for, according to the other people, I'm going to be polishing a lot of the crystals for us to put them in. So
I'm gonna be the Secretary of Crystallization.
Yeah, you know, we got our sectors. I'll be the Appalachia part of it.
I'm gonna collect all the Niji Sanji crystals in a gauntlet.
You know, we can like, you know, remember that store Earthbound? They have a lot of those crystals. You can just sell them there.
a lot of y'all gonna be real acquainted with these whack ass crystal prisons.
We're doing this for Peanut, by the way.
That's Did you see, by the way, when fucking Kamala did her concession speech?
There was a squirrel up there. I saw that. Oh my god.
Bro, that was a message from God, y'all.
Oh, it was. God. There's been so much like divine providence in this whole show. I've been like,
I think this is the first time a political candidate was ever endorsed by God himself.
For real. I mean, the series of coincidences and like near misses that like brought us to this point are incredible. Like, yeah. You know, I'm not exactly one to go out there and talk about these sorts of things, especially like on stream. But you know, for those who aren't into, you might wanna do some research. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, we did it for Jen Post is right. We did it for Shiori. Shiori said R.I.P. Peanut, and that was it.
Yeah, the some of them they found out about Peanut, and it was like, I know what I have to do. They didn't say that, but it would be funny if they did.
I want to believe.
But I think also, since we were talking about the voice actor reactions, one of the biggest contrast, really, as it often is, were their reactions compared to Vic's, who was just what was it like? Let's pray that things go well, and that everybody is you know his usual. God is good, you know. Everybody get along. His usual thing.
Yeah, and that's what Vic would have posted either way. Like, you know, pray for healing, pray for things to go well, for people's lives to improve. Like that's because that's just who Vic is.
And then you compare that to like Stephanie Shea, who's like, I'm too terrified. I can't even follow the results. Last time he was running on election night, 2 of my friends were assaulted in public by his supporters. And I read that, and the first thing that went through my mind is, let me guess, one of your friends' name is Juicy?
Juicy Smoulier?
Smoulier, yeah. they came out and they descended from the shadows with their dark MAGA hats so they couldn't be seen, and they viciously beat my friends. They said this is Trump country, and they whipped out CDs of Johnny Rebel and started throwing them like shuriken.
No, the weird part about, like, again, me and Chen had the worst day yesterday. Like, we woke up to one of our supposed to be our friend, and he's like, I'm cutting off everyone that supports Trump because they don't support the civil rights. And I'm like, bro, I am the civil right. What are you talking about? I'm literally the black guy that said, you know what? I have autonomy. I can, make my own decisions. Thankfully, the people that were here, decades before me that were able to say, yeah, we want the African Americans to be able to vote. They did the job, so we could do that. And then we finally exercise our right. And then it's like, you didn't vote the way that we wanted you to vote. Like, my guy, we were able to vote. That's it. Your job, the civil rights, they're not getting taken away. It's right there.
You weren't meant to make your own decisions. You were meant to be a base for people's power.
Yep. Oh, man. Man, you brought up the best thing. By the way, since it's on screen now, I'm going to tell you that as a very before, Damon Mills has one voice. And it's always this, it's a different character, but it's Damon Mills, and Damon Mills, which, by the way, he tried to, well, I think you guys know the story.
Well, look, I got to give the devil his due. Man's been doing a good job of Frieza lately. I mean, it's because his impression of another man's performance is getting better, but I can't bullshit. I can't pretend because he's scum that he didn't do a good job when he did a good job. His performance as Frieza in Sparking Zero is great. It is what it is. But that said, he's scum. He got away with everything they accused Vic of because he's gay, and I think that's just the brutal truth. No two ways about it, or whatever turn of phrase you want to use. And it pains me that he is still in this industry, but it is what it is. I mean, it's, if anything, it's, people say, oh, well, that's why dubs are bad, because the voice actors are bad people. But in reality, what the voice actors are just, we know, you know what I mean? We know what they did, and they're, I guess you could say, quote unquote, crimes are a little more petty. Because let me introduce you to a little fella called Hollywood. Because if you think, I've talked about it before, but like Damon Mills is a textbook example. He is really the microcosm of what is like much worse in Hollywood, where this little pissant, little creep that does creepy things and should be kept away from children, or not but teenage boys. I think that's his type.
Teenage boys that are questioning themselves.
Yeah, should definitely be kept away from them. But yeah, because like he's got some kind of status, he dodges accountability and continues to work.
It's like we talked about towards the beginning of the show. The sheer hypocrisy of these people, that they go out there and they'll tell lies about Vic, they'll tell lies about Donald Trump, and then they'll go out and they'll do the very things that they accuse other people of doing. And they do so like with absolutely no sort of like thoughts in their brain where it's like, maybe you shouldn't defend this person. This person's just as bad. No, it's because they believe in the progressive stack. And so because you're this, that, or the other, and it's higher on the totem pole in terms of feels, then you get to be a shithead and get away with doing literally the worst thing you can possibly do to someone else.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these people, yeah, you do have to understand. That's why I don't go voice actor to voice actor, because most of these people are now. I do feel it's cowardly for them to do this, and it's a bitch move. But bitches gonna be bitches. They're saying this for work. Yeah, because you have to toe the line. You have to be like, you saw how they tried to come after Brian Massey for saying, "Fuck politics. I have a sick daughter to take care of. I'm going to take whatever work I want," because when he did work with AM Studios. Like, I don't fucking care about your politics. It's voice acting work, and I have a sick daughter. Go to hell.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand that, like, the voice acting work doesn't really pay that well. Like, you're gonna like the voice actors are gonna take what they can get, because most of the actual like okay pay is because you're like on with a studio and you're doing like 5 other things for that studio, and so you're making more money. If you're just strictly a voice actor, you're taking anything you can get.
Yeah, and many of them are just going to toe a political line, and you know it happens in Hollywood too. They've talked about it. You say one thing, believe another, because you want work. Because if you don't vote a certain way or announce that you vote a certain way, you don't get work. But some of them we do know are just scum, are just pieces of shit. One of them being Amanda Wynn Lee, who doesn't do much these days, I think. I don't, maybe the occasional video game, because she is at
conventions.
Yeah, because well, she's only got herself to blame because of her behavior. Because she'd get blackout drunk and make an ass out of herself and ruin all her connections. They're infamously when she didn't she like twerk? Because she was in Evangelion. I forget who she played. She's either Oscar or Ray, one of those two. She like twerked on someone in a pen costume in front of a couple people that worked on Evangelion. Something like that. I mean, I'm probably fudging up a detail or two. It's a very old story, easy to find.
You're correct.
Yeah,
she was Ray.
It's easy to find if you're looking at. Yeah. Oh, she was Ray. Okay.
She was Ray.
Yeah. If you look it up, I'm sure like anyone listening, look it up to find the details. But yeah, I believe that's why she did not come back for the new Evangelion thing they had, the Rebirth or whatever it was. But I believe that's why she didn't come back. She's not in a lot anymore because she's a fucking weird pothead. She's like in her like pushing 50, if not in her 50s, still a fucking trying to be a pothead hippie. It's fucking sad to watch. She just fights on Twitter all the time. Like, yeah, no one's gonna hire you. She's basically a stoner Jamie Markey.
Yeah,
like
I don't even know if I can actually play this. I didn't realize I had the pen incident bookmarked. Here, I'll yeah, well, she throws her shirt off at one point. And she's in her bra, but I don't know if I could actually play that on YouTube.
Yeah, probably. I would figure YouTube would probably spank you if you did.
Yeah, just save it. Save it for the after show or whatever happens.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, it's kind of the same with Jamie Markey because, you know, people say, oh, well, you know, Vic lost or whatever, but, you know, Vic still makes money. And Jamie Markey, and, you know, Vic is building his own studio, and Jamie Markey, she does nothing. Like, she doesn't get work.
I'll tell you what,
she only has legacy roles.
I can pull up a frame, a screenshot of. Well, that's very tiny. That's like a screenshot for ants, but but you'll get the idea. Like, this is right before she takes her shirt off.
Yeah.
Just imagine that, and she's like bumping and grinding on the pen cosplayer. Like, that's the gist of it. You can find the video on there. It's on YouTube. It's the pen incident. Just Google that and you'll find it.
That's some deep lore I didn't know, but now I know, and now I feel like I don't want to burn my eyes that way. Sometimes it's better to never look at something but only hear about it, and even that's a little too much.
Yeah, and it's so tiny because it's 144p because it was uploaded.
Oh, it's that old.
Yeah, it's that old.
Yeah, it's very old.
You know, the weird thing about the voice acting industry, or at least the ones that you hear the most about, is all of them are in California. So I was looking up anime conventions and whatnot, and I think there's one that's coming up relatively soon, and all the voice actors are obviously LA based. The thing about the voice actors, and I talked to an actual industry voice actor once before, maybe somewhere around 6 years ago, and they said that there are some very in their words, interesting people that do voice acting, and it was kind of brought up by the fact that DC Douglas hates my guts, which is just fabulous.
Oh, DC Doug, you were talking about interesting people. DC Douglas is out of his goddamn mind. The only reason we don't have some crazy statement from him is he's gotten himself banned off of like everything.
Yeah. And also Capcom, I think I don't know if they're suing it, but I know that they were like, yeah, you broke NDA, you're not doing this again, and they just shoved him right out the door.
He lost the one role people know him for.
Yeah, and I will never forget it, because that was the reason he hates me in the first place, is because someone was like, I loved your performance as Wesker, but I think you're being a little too harsh. And he kind of told him to go fuck off. And I was like, bro, you are literally a no one. You're like a B-list actor that no one can even remember the name of. And the funniest thing in most recent history, I know this is like a weird loop around, but Pippa, our beloved Moldy Rabbit, had a cameo done by DC Douglas. And I think what happened was people told her exactly who he was. She deleted it. And I think she had made like a really quick statement of, I'm never doing this ever again.
Oh, poor Pippa.
Like, because I guess people went and told her like, hey, you know that like, you like filmed himself in like the ladies' restroom in the airport, right? So like, and among other things, but my favorite one is just the airport thing.
Well, no, see, this is how I know you. I don't think you ever watched the video. Some of the AO guys.
No, I saw that one.
Oh, so you know about the poop incident?
Yep.
I remember you talking about this on the show not too long. It was probably like, a year ago, Cody?
Yeah.
Man, the more you get into like DC Douglas lore, it's incredible that he was even there in the first place.
He's a problem. Like, he's an actual problem. He's a degenerate drug addict with he's got mental illness in his family and basically is trying to self-medicate through like magic mushrooms and coke and shit, and possibly heroin. I think he jokes a lot about heroin to the point where it's like, okay, you're telling that joke a lot. Is that real? Because I know you do other drugs. Are you really shooting up? You probably shooting up. You probably.
Listen,
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
In the wise words of someone that we all kind of used to know, say yes to cocaine. Yes. Man, we said that a lot at Off Guy. Or at least I said it a lot at Off Guy. Very happy with it.
We were joking. We were joking a lot about that at Off Guy.
I wish I could go to Off Guy.
Listen, next year, doors open. It's not in the small little container that it was in this past year and the years prior. This one's in like the big convention center. It's almost 10 times the size.
Yeah, but that's like traveling, and I've just moved into my home by then. I got a mortgage. I got to save.
That means that you need to vote blue, you little idiot. you need to just let me have your livelihood.
The reason I didn't.
Yeah.
The exact reason I didn't. I want to keep that mortgage low.
But that's kind of the thing about voice actors is, again, they're mostly interesting, and the ones that I know on a very personal level, I don't message them a lot, but whenever I like want to like say, hey, what's going on? Like, I haven't heard from you in a while. It's like something like that. Mm-hmm. They're just normal people. People like Amanda Winley, they're not normal. DC Douglas, definitely not normal.
Oh, God.
And they try to walk among everybody else to make it seem like they are normal, but they will tell you to actually rope in real life in Minecraft, in Fortnite. And it's insane. Yeah. Especially over politics.
It's nuts how just fucked in the head so many voice actors are. But it's like actors in general. There's just something about it. You know what it is? Acting, right? You need to be, there's only two kinds of people that get into acting. People that are so like, I guess sensible, right? Like their brains are so rooted that they can then pretend to be somebody because like, I guess they have like good enough social skills and understanding of another person that they can empathize well enough to get into somebody's head. So they can act really well. Or you have the complete opposite side of the spectrum of someone that is so absolutely mental and sociopathic that they can turn on a non-existent person, not out of understanding and empathy and like the sort of like logical, oh, well, this person would do X, Y, Z, and thus I will do that logical way of thinking. But like the sociopath's weapon, they can use it to play pretend, to be who they need to be in the moment. And it makes you genuinely understand why the Romans hated actors. Because I think they knew this kind of thing. Like if you're an actor, there's probably something wrong with you. Granted, there's plenty of actors that aren't. Like I said, my first example. But I think that second example was so telling. So it leaves such an impression that you forget about the first example. Like, oh, voice actors are scum. Well, because the DC Douglases stand out so much that you forget about the Johnny Young Bosch. You know, the crazy people make so much of a mark that the not crazy people are like, bro, don't lump us in with that just because, whatever.
Bro, they're all unhinged. I witnessed a family, a household name like Mudang become a beloved character and then wanting to be murdered because they ate the cake that just looked a little bit bigger and more appetizing. They don't have any sentience to really care about politics. They just said, man, this is food. And they went to the one that they thought was going to be the best one. And they posted the picture of the alligator. I think it was the gator, it probably was. And they said they wanted to murder a little dwarf hippo thing.
Gator, how could you? Mudang is a beloved treasure. Why would you do that to
I
Mudang?
would not eat Mudang. Mudang is too cute.
Yeah, like that. But that's what I'm talking about. Like it's the failure of the coup of the mentally ill. Like we were living through this attempted coup of the mentally ill, and they failed, and they're flipping out because now they know what's coming. They know that the normal people are going to take charge back. They're going to lose their power. They're going to lose their meaning. They're going to lose all of their influence, and they're going to go back to the mines, basically. And God, they can't stand that. It's an existential threat to their psyche. The idea that they're going to go back to powerlessness. It's just, they're freaking out. It's the most terrifying thing they can think of. It's like Father at the end of Full Metal Alchemist when he's getting pulled back into the door, and he's losing his freedom. And he sees that door shut, and he's like screaming. That's what they're doing right now. That's straight up what they're going through right now. And I don't feel bad for them because of everything they tried to do to everybody else. They're bad people. That's why they don't succeed. One of the things that is the biggest pieces of fiction that does not reflect reality is the exceptionalism of evil. Because in reality, people that are evil become evil because they are mediocre. They're not exceptional. That's why they become evil. That's why they have to scheme and do things underhandedly because they don't have the ability, the willpower to make things happen. So even if they're smart, they're still like a coward. They're still weak. And in the end, this is kind of what inevitably happens. This is why, to be kind of cheesy, in reality, evil does always lose. Not immediately. Sometimes they seem like they're winning for a while, but it always ends poorly. And we are now in that time. So enjoy it, friends, as we watch this little clip he's got pulled up.
Yeah, speaking of Mudang, this is a Chibidoki clip. I felt like it was appropriate for this little segment here, a little segue.
Hi guys, this is the Bangkok. Shut up! I want Mudang! Shut up! Mudang!
That has been me before, unironically, when I'm like looking for something anime related on YouTube, and I'm like, oh man, I hope this is the clip, and then it's just like all of this extra superfluous stuff, and I'm like, shut the fuck up!
Shut up!
That's how
I want Mudang.
That's how I feel when I'm looking for a playthrough of a game, and then the guy's narration starts up.
Hey guys, welcome to my new playthrough of Trials of Cold Steel, and I'm gonna show you the thing.
Shut the fuck up! I'm just trying to find footage. Shut the fuck up! I want to see what this game is like.
Can't shake the shit out of them. That's the worst part.
It's funny to think Mudang is going to become like horrifically lethal, because hippos are kind of like, I think it might be the deadliest animal on
They're
land.
definitely one of the most aggressive animals. Like they don't like anything in the vicinity.
Oh, they're straight up like I think they might be the deadliest animal on Earth because you can't survive a hippo bite.
No,
you can survive a shark bite. You can survive a bite from a thing. Anything else except the only thing dead in the ballpark of deadly in terms of a hippo is like a poison dart frog. Where you touch it, you're fucking dead.
People in chat are saying he's a pygmy, so he might actually not be quite as deadly when he gets older.
Yeah, still gonna be. Don't fuck with Mudang. Mudang will tear that arm off. Because a hippo bites you. That's just your paste. It's crazy to think that big, lumbering, silly-looking thing is like deadlier than a shark. Don't fuck with a hippo. So yeah, if Mudang is not a pygmy, if Mudang grows up and grows big, good lord.
Yeah, he is a
Mudang
pygmy, so he'll get a little bigger. Like
I was kind of hoping
I want to
Mudang
say
would
like
be a
pig
killdozer, not gonna lie.
size, but I mean pigs can mess you up. Like boars
Oh,
can wreck your stuff. So he won't get quite as big, but he'll still be pretty
Don't fuck
big.
with Mudang. Mudang is a hippo. Hippos don't play.
But it's again beloved internet sensation reduced down to getting attacked by other creature, and here we are because again they chose the tastier looking cake, the bigger one.
It's an advantage to all of us because the evil people are announcing it now. Like they were doing all the subterfuge for so long. Now they just bust out the big black capes and the horned helmets
And the
It's
twirly
good.
mustaches.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thankfully, I know who to and not to interact with. I never have to worry now. All the crazies and evil people are just announcing it loudly to the world. Again, I don't think people understand because they're so caught up in the minor. It's at the forest for the trees. They're caught up in those minor little fights and hypocrisies and all that. You don't understand. We're living in an amazing time. You have the evil and crazy people. They're losing. They're outing themselves. All of the subterfuge is crumbling away, and we're watching the death of the Illuminati class. Like, good God, man! Everybody listening right now, don't you die. If you're going through it right now, power through it, because you're gonna want to see this shit. You don't want to see where this goes.
No, we
This
don't,
gonna
want we don't want the liberals to die. We don't want any of that. We just want you to just chill out. Like, just hang on out, man. We're gonna clean up we're not gonna clean up LA. There's just no saving that. But we are gonna clean up the other stuff.
I think that's the final shoe that drops. Like when the world's problems are solved, that's when like California gets its shit together. That's how you know we truly are, in the greatest sense of the word, so back.
Tomac for $20 has a great point here. He says it's almost like they're trying to make Trump into Senator Armstrong. It is like he's become this villainous character. Of course, like a lot of people now are sitting there like going back and playing Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance, and they're just like, actually, Senator Armstrong had a lot of good points.
Yeah, he's the guy. He's pouring the drink. He's like, man, he do be kind of right, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we are now. Is they tried to do this in most recent media. Like, Kojima did it again. He keeps making games about this, but what happened was for the past 4 years, and maybe even before that, they were like, look how goofy this guy is. There's no way he can be president. And then he became president. And then they said, well, we're going to make fun of you. And then they made fun of him every single day until it was just like, all right, well, now we got our guy in there. And you want to know what the real nail in the coffin was for this election? It wasn't even the past month. It wasn't the past 2 months. It was Skibbity Biden.
That's
It
true.
was unironically Skibbity Biden. And
That was the beginning of the end.
Which, by the way, it was not just offensive to the people that it was trying to cater to. It was offensive to the people that might have like been mildly interested. Like, man, I wonder what this Skibbity thing is. And then they see that, and then they're like, bro, this is awful. Who
They
the fuck
Homer
let you in the
Simpson
kitchen?
back into the bushes immediately.
Well, it's like, because when I saw that, I said, there's no way that someone in that staff room said, I got an idea. We gotta really connect with the people. What are the people like? Oh, they're saying Skibbity a lot, right? So what if we just make our own little Skibbity? But it's like, it's Biden, like he's the good guy, which I'm pretty sure if I remember the lore correctly, aren't the Skibbity people the bad ones and like the guys in the suits are the good ones?
Yeah, the Skibbity toilets are the fucking bad guys.
Yeah, they're trying to take over the world.
Yeah, I never I know that there's been deep dives on it, but I've never seen it at that level.
It's like it's got lore, but the lore is part of the joke. Like the joke is
The
like
fact that it
how
has
much
lore
snowballs.
is the joke.
Yeah. It's like how much it snowballs, how like the serious presentation of the absurd. Like
It's kind of
you have
like
to be-
how-
you have to have a high IQ to get the joke for Skibbity Toilet. Okay,
It's kind of like how
Oh, yes.
Marble Hornets just kind of started out as like a really fun little tiny project, and then it kind of became its own like overarching series that defined a lot of like the Slenderman lore. Skibbity Toilet kind of did the same thing.
but it did it as a joke.
But did it as a
I
joke.
think there's a later one where there's a Michael Jackson Skibbity Toilet that instead of doing that Skibbity song, just starts going hee. Yeah, making Michael Jackson noises. So yeah, but it's all treated like it's a serious monster that's going to like a real threat. And
Yeah, But that's what
but
Skibbity Biden was. It was
Yeah,
like
so they make
there's
fucking-
language. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is trash, man.
yeah, you know what that it was very reminiscent of, which was perfect because it was the same fucking show. The Vax scene. You
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
blocked it out in my brain, but now I remember.
Yeah, I think Stephen Colbert just needs to be drawed and quartered. I think that's what we really need to do.
Well,
You know, and
actually,
was
he
great
does
in
more
Harvey
damage to
Birdman.
their cause than anybody else. So
No, Jimmy Kimmel's up there with him. Well, most late night show hosts pretty much are, but
You know what? I'm convinced of this is my conspiracy theory, right? I'm convinced that a lot of these guys got Epsteined, and that's why they're just embarrassing themselves now. It's a mixture of doing what they're told because of the dirt is on them and the desperation that it won't come out. Because like I think I 100% believe the celebrities that were getting trotted out at the tail end of the 2024 election, 100% there's like dirt. Look, I love Eminem's music, but I have already accepted that he probably there's shit with him with Epstein. Like there's already a photo of
Or
him
Diddy.
with like it looks. Oh well, I'm not just talking about Diddy, but there's already a photo of Eminem with like a young looking girl on Epstein's plane. Like, yeah, the man made some amazing music, and I'm still gonna listen to it. I ain't gonna pay for it. I'm gonna listen to it. But I also accepted that yeah, he did. He totally fucked someone that's still in school.
well, it's like for the anime, the weeaboos, it's like Rurouni Kenshin, right? Like the author is a piece of shit, but Rurouni Kenshin is still a fantastic manga, fantastic anime. You divorce,
can't
like,
take that away from.
you divorce the author from the work, or like Stephen King, right? Like Stephen King, right, wrote some great stuff, but there's some weird shit in it. There's some weird shit in it. Thank God they cut it out of
You know who really needs
the
it?
original movie. But yeah.
But do you know who really needs to be canceled? It's really whoever organized whatever it is for the Democrats, because they had Lizzo in Detroit, my hometown, say, "I want every city in America to be like Detroit." Like, I know that there might not be that much meth up there, but I know that there's at least crack, and you must be smoking all of it. And then
Everybody was like,
the Megan Thee Stallion literally on stage shaking her ass, and someone said, "Yeah, this is the best idea. We're really gonna reel in those votes now." Like, and even if it weren't for the Democrats, and let's say that the conservatives did it, doubtful, but let's say that they did something like that, I would be just as appalled too, because it's fucking stupid.
Embarrassing.
It's embarrassing to everyone involved, and it's like, you want my vote, bro? When that Detroit line came out, I think I wanted to end it all.
I think everybody collectively cracked up laughing. Like, no, she's absolutely right. Like,
and here's the thing about it is that they have absolutely no idea or concept of why they lost. Like there's still, like, you see all of these talking heads pontificating about it, and yet like 3 dudes on an anime podcast are getting it more right than they ever will. And that says a lot about society, I think.
I think it says something about the death of the old media and the death of that quote unquote Illuminati class and the sort of rise of independence. Again, it's a beautiful time to be alive.
Yeah, I think
the
the
media
moment
is
that-
dead.
Yeah, the media is dead, and they did it themselves. It was self-inflicted. But I think the
At this
moment
point, it's like it's gotten to the point where it's like, ew, you still watch TV? What are you doing?
I think
that's
the
where we're
moment
at.
that like paradigm shifted everything was the moment that like Elon Musk decided to buy Twitter, because that changed the course of history. Like that was the
the thing.
singular moment that like everything changed, because all of
I
a
don't
sudden
think that was the moment, but I think that was definitely 100% the accelerant. Because that was already happening, but it's like slow. It was like fighting against forces pushing it down, but it was happening. and then Elon bought Twitter, and that he just threw gasoline on a fire. Like, and he didn't just throw gasoline. He just kicked down over an open barrel of gasoline.
We're gonna
Yeah.
step on the gas.
No, he kicked over an open barrel of gasoline on what was already happening. Like, it was happening slow, and then he bought Twitter, and then whoosh. Like, what we're going through now probably would have happened like another 5 years down the line had he not bought Twitter. So yeah, I wouldn't say that did it, that like caused it, but my God, what an accelerant. Holy shit. It's like, you know what it was? I'm going to keep up, because we're anime boomers, I'm going to keep up the nerdy references. It's like when you kill a motherfucking metal slime in Dragon Quest, and you get so much fucking experience that you get like 30 levels.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what that was. It was fucking Elon came in with a metal slime on a pike. Like, I got some XP for you boys.
Yeah, you know, if you relate that to current day thing, Elon Musk was a lot of the manglers when you get to round 30 on Black Ops 6 Zombies. If you've not played it, the manglers are very hard armored enemies, and when you get to round 30, they just say, you know what, fuck it, 20 of them. You're not making it out. It's the worst. Zombies is fun, but when the manglers show up, you might as well just say, all right, well, I think I did what I need to do here. Time to restart. And then there goes your 2 hours of whatever you were trying to do, trying to get the Easter eggs.
We got some more super chats here. Winter of Lame for $1.99 says Trump is already bringing the world to heel. Yeah, I did see that. Everybody's like, yeah, all these wars and stuff. Yeah, let's wrap those. Let's wind those down now. Tomok for $10 says, I'm starting to think the Diddy and Epstein list Venn diagram might be a circle. I think you might be right.
110% it's a circle. I mean, I'm not even joking. I'm firmly, I don't think there's a single person that's Diddy only, but not Epstein. You know what? No, I think there's some Epstein only, but not Diddy, and that's like politicians, foreign leaders and shit.
Like, yeah, because I think the Diddy stuff was more focused on United States, but the Epstein was global.
Yeah.
And can you
But
believe?
in terms of like famous people, absolutely, fucking absolutely. Like, it's a circle.
It's crazy how deep the weird connection goes, because you're wondering, well, is it my favorite insert here celebrity? Probably. It could be.
You know who I think is a good like, you can already kind of use a divining rod to find who's going to be on them lists. How do they act? Are they chill? I think the ones that are very activisty, 100% on that list, because that's why. They need to both make up, like, it's like remember that carbon offset bullshit? Like, well, if you plant a tree, then it doesn't matter if you were in a private jet because you're balancing it out. That's what they're doing in their head. Like, oh God, I fucked a child. But if I support the cause, that offsets my sin. It's that plus, hey, you better toe the line and be our little spokesperson, or people might find out about what you did. So the more unhinged they are, the more they're probably on those lists. Whereas
this is why it's important for
chill,
the Trump administration to like release the full list, because people have a right to know like what these people did and to hold them accountable for the stuff that they did.
He said several times over he's going to, and Elon Musk, I think it like the day before election day, he's like, yeah, the reason that they're so vehemently against him is because he's going to release that list, and they're terrified. Like, that's how I knew, by the way, I liked Elon Musk. When the first time he publicly called for the release of the Epstein client list, like, oh, that means he's not on it. Because if you're on it, you don't want that shit released. And he was like, yeah, release that shit. Do it. I was like, oh, well then, hey, look, a cool billionaire. So.
Yeah, Elon was like, yeah, we're releasing that list. And everybody's just like, based.
Yeah. So, I think we're kind of winding down the politics talk. I mean, it was inevitable after the election season, and with politics, it's infected our hobby so deeply. Sadly.
Yeah, I think
that's why I wanted to lead in with the Overlord movies. Like, here's some actual anime.
I have a fun story that's not politics related, but I'll save it for like the very end because it's very anime oriented, if you will.
Yeah, but I think Expert Armchair, I retweeted this. He kind of echoed some of the same points I made on this. He was talking about, he does a lot of streams about VTubers and, talking about various pitfalls that people find themselves in the industry, mistakes that they make, things that they say that aren't smart. He said, democracy is a game of seeing who can alienate the least number of demographics. Any entertainer who announces their willingness to alienate their audience is automatically ill-suited to fighting, let alone winning, political battles in a democratic society. Many online creators don't realize that the more democratic their society is, the less effective content creators become at playing politics. The reason for this is that in a healthy, functioning democracy, one that has not begun to erode itself by devolving into tribalism and outgroup animosity, politicians and content creators have completely opposite goals. Content creators set out with an idea of who they want to form their community and will semi-regularly prune their communities, whether intentionally or accidentally, to fit their ideal audience. Democrat politicians need to appeal to as many groups of people as possible, and so they can't afford to be choosy or alienate people simply because of a difference in opinion or even personal views. At the end of the day, if you genuinely believe that rights and lives are at stake, you owe it to those who you seek to protect to fight for those rights and lives effectively. However, that requires playing by the rules of democratic politics, i.e. not allowing your personal feelings and values to get in the way of wider appeal, forming alliances with people you have differences with. If you as a content creator are unsuited or unwilling to play politics according to the laws of a democratic society, if you are willing to completely cut off others who share a different viewpoint instead of clawing to reach common ground, then there are at least one of two uncomfortable truths you may have to confront. 1, you don't care very much about democracy. 2, you care more about your own emotional catharsis than effectively fighting for a political cause and democracy. And I don't think
second point is such a kill shot.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any better way to wrap up the segment about this than that, because it's just it's so poignant and just cuts right to the core. They just it's an emotional response. They don't actually care about the cause. It's about how the situation makes them feel.
Mm-hmm.
And
and they've been doing that all, and that kind of instead of sounding like a broken record, I know I will, but again, that's why when these VTubers, because that's kind of like the whole thing, this is their first election cycle, because when you look at where VTubers were before this, they weren't really a thing until HoloLive came out, and that was in the middle of 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
It was HoloLive really got the ball rolling and people to really notice on a large scale, and it was because of COVID, because everyone was locked in their house, not able to do anything, and so you're just cruising on YouTube, and you saw Sakura Miko saying gamer words, and that was it. I'm sold. This is great.
Yeah, and then everybody at that point was I want to do that. I want to share my autistic stuff with the people, because they all have their thing that they do, and that's everyone has a trade. And if you ever wonder why the big VTubers and the Corpo VTubers are the way that they are, it's because they know how to do something. Even Doobie knows how to do the 3D stuff that she was doing, but also she was working on a TV show. She talked about it in her debut a few weeks ago, about how she should have this, I think it was an Oscar that she was supposed to have won, or some award that she should have had, because she worked on this TV show and no one would have known. And people obviously are going to look it up, but she's good at that. She's good at making her own stuff. And then there's other VTubers that do art. There's other VTubers that make music. There's VTubers that do everything. And yeah, the Emmy Award, thank you. And they do all of this stuff that is good for the industry that they want to be in. They're not just sitting around playing games all day. That's kind of what their job is, but they help contribute something. And then when you start throwing politics at people, not the corpo ones for the most part, but the indie ones that want to do something, they don't have that same skill set. They're not equipped for any of that. And so when this election came up, they had two choices to make. They could have been professional, said I'm kind of bummed out, but it is what it is. Or, it's something really vague. And that's acceptable. Or you can crash out completely. You can alienate that entire base of people because of an emotional response, a knee-jerk reaction. And they're not able to do anything. That's just what they do. They don't know how to handle themselves. So when it comes to being professionals, they're not equipped for that. The Corpo ones are. They have someone tapping them on the shoulder. Hey, don't do this. That's a bad look. It's all about the optics. We talk about optics a lot, like in our little corner of the internet. But the optics are the most important right now. And if any of these people say, I'm going to apply for this Corpo, and there's a lot of them that say that they don't want to be, but they're chomping at the bit to apply for like VShojo or Pixel Link or any of these other corporate entities. And they're going to probably know this election is probably when they're going to look at those dates specifically, and they're going to see, what are you posting? Can I trust you? And that's why it's all a big deal when it's this. And you might remember this too, Gator. But one of the other people that used to be Corpo, she came out and told someone, because they were pretty much agreeing with them. But you remember when the VShojo applications closed, and then everyone started posting their videos, their audition tapes of like, oh, I didn't get in to VShojo, so here's my audition tape. All of those people effectively got blacklisted. Because
yes, they did.
Shows that it shows that you can't keep your mouth shut when it comes to an NDA. And they don't want that. The people that just didn't get in, they didn't say a goddamn word about it. They said, they just kept their mouth shut, and they said, I'm going to perfect my craft, and I will come back at it again when it opens up again. But the other ones, they're done. And it's going to be no different than this, because they have to make it past like a few stages. And one of the first things they're checking is your socials. And if you're
they're going to be looking at all of your tweets. Like this is what I tried to explain to people. I'm like, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to look at your videos. They're going to look at your tweets. It's very easy to go. Like there's a website where you can literally search transcripts. Like they could literally use that website, type in certain key phrases on your stream, and just find times you've used certain phrases and certain words, and they will absolutely disqualify you for it.
And that's the other thing. Like we already know that there's some very political VTubers, or at least ones that talk about politics, and some of them, when they got their ass chewed out by the general public, they just kind of stopped streaming for like a week or two, and then they came back and they just didn't say it again, or they just said it in a very different way. But like they'll still get their little sponsorships. Yeah, you can have a code for your gamer subs or whatever, or you can have your code for insert here advanced GG or whatever the fuck it is. Like they'll get those. But as far as becoming Corpo, you're not gonna be there. There's a reason that those people that are in those like HoloLive, Phase Connects, and whatever you may have around, there's a reason that they're there. They contribute something. They know how to conduct themselves on a professional level. And so when this election shit happened, again, to sound like a broken record, they didn't handle it the way that they were supposed to. And I'm not saying that I'm like this guy that knows everything, but I learned that every day is Friday. And if you know that, if you know what I'm talking about, Gator, I know you do. Every day is Friday. It's shut the fuck up Friday.
Yep.
So whenever you have a thought that you want to put out onto Twitter, and you know that it may have bad optics, just shut the fuck up. You can just type it up in your little Twitter box, and you can just never post it. Just shut the fuck up, and no one will care. Then you can just say, okay, well, I did what I had to do, and I put a filter on. I'm not saying you have to censor yourself, but again, if you're going to be a content creator for the people, as apolitical as possible, just make content. People got mad at Maury Calliope for doing that. She said, just make content. Mm-hmm. And they got mad at her for doing that.
Start creating, stop tweeting. Yeah.
Yeah, and they got mad. So just don't tweet the shit. Just make a stream. If you're having a bad day, pop on a stream. Just say, I want to play I don't know, Tetris Evolution today. Play Tetris Evolution. Have a good time with your people.
That is literally what Corone does. She's done it several times where she's going to be going through some heavy real life stuff. So like, I want to stream because it gets my mind off it, and my audience makes me happy.
Yeah, and you make the funny dog happy. You love hearing the funny dog laugh. It's great. That's what we show up for. And in some weird doomer pilled type of vibe, I'm like, I really don't want to have to hear about insert here VTuber's opinion on illegal immigration. The certain kinds. Like obviously there's exceptions if you're a political VTuber. Like then it's just expected. Like that's different. But if you're a person that is aspiring to be in these corpos and you've made it known to people and then you say some stupid shit, I got nothing for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this flow chart from Expert Armchair. You know, not to just to sing his praises too much, but it really just encapsulates like it's what every VTuber should like have somewhere on their desktop to consult anytime they're thinking of like posting something. It's like, should I post this tweet? Who am I writing this for? If it's for myself, start a journal or vent to a friend instead.
Very good advice, because that's what I've been doing the whole week. I'm like, you know what? I'm not putting this on Twitter. I'll just message Gator instead.
Yeah, there you go. And we can talk and shit post instead. And I like the way the flowchart goes. Like, who am I writing this for? A target audience. Are they going to listen to me? No. Vent to a friend instead. If yes, do I mind if people outside that target audience see my tweet? Yes. Delete the post and close the app or consult a professional to reword it accordingly. If no, is what I'm saying consistent with the morals, character, and overall image I wish to project to all possible audiences, present and future? No. Delete the post and close the app.
Many people fail this very simple flow chart, and again, it's very handy. And I don't know if it'll help, but at least it's here.
Yeah. I mean, this is a big reason that I started a separate Twitter just for my works, like my buyer works Twitter. Because there's gonna be people that like my art or read my comics that aren't interested in my fucking opinions on shit. So like, yeah, I got a Twitter account for my opinions, and I got a Twitter account for my works. And you could just follow that one and never hear what I have to say on anything. And if you really need to opine on stuff, if you're like me and you're just an opinionated asshole, make a private account. Just make a personal account that's just your thoughts.
Or make another Discord account. Because you know what? If you make another Discord account, you can message yourself. Sometimes it takes talking to a real one to really sort out your thoughts. You can just type to yourself and be like, man, today sucked. And then you can just get on the other account. What happened, bud? You can just have a schizo moment. Everyone loves those.
Well, I feel like this dominated the episode, and I know we got a couple other things to cover. But I mean, how could it not dominate the episode?
I mean, yeah, it's the biggest, issue, I guess, in the world right now, for lack of a better term. I mean, it's something everybody's talking about, and it's just unfortunate to see people that a lot of mutuals were just like losing their spaghetti on the timeline, and it's just like, guys, he was president for 4 years and none of this stuff happened. Like, you've just been gaslit by the media and by some of the people that you watch into believing like all of this crazy stuff. And that's really what it is. It's media gaslighting. They made you believe this crazy stuff, and now you're blowing yourself up and ruining future opportunities because you believe the dumb shit that The View says, or Jimmy Kimmel, or any of these other talking head absolute retards that have no idea how everybody else in the rest of the world lives, because they're high on cloud nine, and cloud nine is made of their own farts.
It's a green cloud.
It's a green cloud made of money and fart. That's all they understand.
Yeah. And remember, bros, I know some of y'all are going through it, but stick around. Don't cash out. Yeah, stick around. You're going to want to see what happens next. It's going to be a good time.
Do you have your popcorn ready? I hope so, because you're gonna.
Because I ran out of popcorn. Can I have some, please?
Because you're gonna like what comes next.
Okay, don't put away that Benadryl yet. You're gonna love this next shadow person.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of all of those things, I recently got back into watching AMV Hell. Have any of you heard of?
Yeah,
AMV I do remember AMV Hell. Yes.
AMV Hell.
Okay, so I love AMV Hell 4. That's like my favorite one because I've watched it a million times, and I watched a little bit of it with Chen Poster yesterday. But I went back to see what else had been made, and there is AMV Hell 8.5, and I said, I don't know if the people can really still make AMV Hell good. I wonder what's going on over there in that camp. And I watched just a little bit, like maybe 15 minutes. And I was like, the kids are going to be all right. AMV Hell has never been better. it still has that same touch of detail to it, and it's something that you can kind of notice when you compare it to like the older stuff. Like there's just such a way that they crafted it, and it has many layers to it. So if you ever get the chance to watch AMV Hell 8.5, you will have a very fun time.
Well, funny enough, that's kind of how I felt having spent so much time watching SFM shit posts and shit. When Skibbity Toilet dropped, I was like, the kids are gonna be all right.
Yeah, I mean, like there wasn't a whole
just-
lot of difference between that and YouTube poop, and I always have to remind people that, you know.
Oh yeah,
It's a football.
YouTube poop is
Stone Luigi, you didn't make it. It's a Stone Luigi.
YouTube poop is also still great. I mean, there's some people have done some amazing shit with YouTube poop. First of all, Corpo Productions came back and been making new like Fesh Pinces. Like you remember Fesh Pins of Blair?
I remember Fesh Pins, yes.
Yeah, he made a new one, and he's working on Fesh Pins 4. He made Fesh Pins 3, and it's hysterically funny. Hysterically funny. And, like, someone made a YouTube poop called The King's Speech that's an entire half-hour-long comedy epic. And, like, it's crazy how, like, these weird little internet comedy forms are still around, and they're still pretty damn good. It's kind of like those like '80s groups that are still making music, like Duran Duran making Invisible.
Yeah.
Like Duran Duran's still around, and they kind of kick ass.
Yeah, that
Have you
song.
heard new Duran Duran?
Yeah, it sounds just like old Duran Duran, but it's new and it's super based, and everybody has collectively decided that it was part of the Metal Gear Solid 5 soundtrack retroactively.
And like they did a Halloween song that was fantastic. Dance Macabre. And then like fucking Depeche Mode still makes music. And it's fantastic. It's like they added like blues rock, kind of a dark tone to their music. It's great. And it's really enheartening to see old things still around that are still good, if not better. Because so much old things turn to shit. It's always nice when it's like, oh, thank God. At least you're still good.
Oh, wow. We just got a $50 super chat from Tomac. He said, in the time between your podcast, I managed to shame a few friends into watching the Stardust Crusaders OVA series and then Witchcraft Works. And now they don't know what my tastes are anymore. That is
Listen,
a
the OVA
sword.
series is just you know, it's just fun. We gotta appreciate a lot of the old. I know this is like anime boomers. Get it? But it's again, AMV Hell 4 is a time capsule. So when I see new AMV Hell, I get a little off put. I'm like, I don't know if this can live up to my old standards of what is funny.
Here is
But
I have a
good.
clip pulled up from one of my favorite AMV Hell bits. this is such a time capsule. it's so great. It's so great. Like Zoomers today will have never seen what this was actually from. Oh, wait, I muted it. Hold on. There we go. Now it's good.
I was writing paper on the PC, and it was like bleep, 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 bleep. And then, like, half of my paper was gone. And I was like, It devoured my paper. It was really good paper. And then I had to write it again, and I had to do it fast, so it wasn't as good. It's kind of a bummer. I'm Ellen Feist, and I'm a student.
I guarantee, like most people, most Zoomers have never seen those old like Mac commercials from back in the day when like nobody used Macs.
Man, yeah, it was really far and few between. There's just so many. I actually was watching AMV Hell 4 for a very specific one. I found it last night, and now I'm gonna forget it, but I know that it's like kind of near the end. But again, can new AMV Hell be good? It is. I can tell you that me as a an old head love the new thing. I love new thing, Charlie.
I love new thing, Charlie. I love new thing.
It's just amazing when there's a new thing that's good. We're just so used to old thing being better. It's like, you know what it is in terms of media. We're living in an era that's a lot like that old fantasy trope of like the ancient advanced civilization. It's like there's just this old dead civilization just
The
had everything
progenitor
better.
meme.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just kind of living in that in a media sense. Like everything old was just better.
The
There's some good
Forerunner.
new stuff. Yeah.
The Forerunners had all this cool
media-wise, kinda
shit.
where we're at. Yeah. I think the only thing that isn't better, I as a music nerd, I can say this, is music. I think that's the only
Man.
area where we've improved just consistently.
Jen
Granted,
Poster in the chat. We watched an hour 50 minutes just to find the part you were looking for.
Absolutely. Well, all of it was good, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this part's good." But there was one, and he knows the one I'm looking for, and it's supposed to be like not so serious, but it's just kind of funny. I love it. There was a lot of as the kids say, Kino in it. I love it. I love that shit. And by the way, shout out to my man Super Iron Bob, because every time I see him in every single chat that I'm in, I'm like, that's the guy. That's the guy.
Super
right
Iron
there.
Bob is the GOAT.
there's
He
our
is.
boy. There's our man.
The only
Super Iron Bob and I need to hang out like in the real life again. I feel like I think I told you this before, but we need like a week before these conventions to just pregame and get all the shit that we want to do done until like the actual event, because you're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off most of the time.
That's what me and my girl did with that Anime Matsuri. Like not last year, but the year before. We just went a week early, and then just like we just hung around the city and like went to the zoo and shit before the convention. Like, yeah, if there's a convention, don't go like. I mean, yeah, you try to get like a vacation week the week before, and just like ease in and hang out and chill before it's time to just nerd the fuck out.
Yeah, like because Offkai is coming up. Offkai 2025. For those of you that don't know, it's going to be in downtown San Jose this upcoming year.
much larger convention center.
Yeah, it's going to be lit. Like if you thought that, like if you've been to the other ones, I know Super Iron Bob has been, but like if you have been to the old Offkai conventions, it is in a Hyatt Regency right next to the San Francisco airport. And when I went back in 2023, it was fine. It was just a small thing, 1,800 people, perfectly sizable. This last year was completely sold out, and you felt it, because just to get into like the vendors area, it was like 45 minutes to get in there, and we stood in line with random VTuber edits, which by the way, shout out to him. He's a real goat. He stood in that Phase Connect line to get me coffee. So he deserves that.
The
I think I
absolute
paid him
Chad.
more. Yeah. But like it's just too small. It's just a small area. And I kept telling a lot of the CEOs that were there for all these VTuber companies, like, we need like a bigger space, because I love VTubers, but it's just too damn small, buddy. And so the only other places I could think of was like San Francisco downtown, but that's a little too weird. It's a big convention center, but you got to convince the people that go to San Francisco, and there's no hotel attached, which I think is a huge deal. So San Jose has one, the McEnery Convention Center. It is roughly, I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe it was like almost 10 times the size. So you can fit 10 times more VTuber shit in this large space. So if you're not familiar, you can look this up too. The other convention that happens in that same convention center, it's the San Jose thing, Fanime happens there. And they have a park right outside. It's kind of like in the center of everything, but there's a park that's like just in front of the hotels and everything. But after hours, people fuck that shit up. They fuck it up bad. It's great. They love it. So I assume the same thing is going to happen with VTubers, but probably a little bit more. I don't know. But I'm glad that we finally have a much bigger space than we probably wanted it to have.
Yeah. Well, now the only problem is instead of being in Canada, now it's in California. So I'm not sure if that's an upgrade, downgrade, or a lateral move.
I like this one. So, Gator, how many days have you made it into No Nut November? Oh, I lost on Tuesday when they announced the final results. I was done. I was like, oh. I was like, Trump, how could you do this to us? How could you do this to us, Trump? I was so pent up and it just everywhere. Ectoplasm.
The spooky ghost showed up.
Spooky ghost showed up.
It was a spooky ghost.
Now it's no longer No Nut November. It's just all Nut November.
It's nonstop Nut November.
Nonstop Nut November now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and see,
Shout out to Risu.
Me and Chen have a lot to go through this next year. Like you said, it's an actual real life gauntlet because I believe if the order is correct, it's Offkai I think is first, and then right after that is Toho Fest, or it's one of those two first, and then it's Anime Expo right after that. So if you're in California, you're eating good when it comes to conventions. However, just I got to make that video one of these days. I got to teach you guys the do's and don'ts because apparently people out here fucking it up. Wear your deodorant, you little stinkies. Wear your deodorant. And also, Offkai again. I'm gonna post that Spider-Man picture again, where he has the bottle of liquor in his hands, and he's on like the subway car with all of these other people. That's gonna be me again.
Me and partying with your Oshis.
Yeah, this time I'm gonna make sure that it's not in a small ass room. That was the biggest issue. It got hot in there, and I was like, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna throw up if I keep doing that. And so now apparently because I left and then like someone else either came in like after me, apparently someone just like took a big shit in the toilet in that room and they just didn't flush it.
Bro,
and they're like, "Are you the guy that did that?" And I'm like, no. First of all, I don't have a phobia, but I definitely don't like to use bathrooms in like foreign places.
Yeah, I'm not
Like,
a fan
that's
of
just the
public
thing.
toilets because you don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
people have done to them.
You know, so I just I like to find a different place to do it, and then we will have that be a thing. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to get you a little bit more tipsy than I was, because that soju hits. Speaking of soju, Chen Poster had some tonight. I think he wanted to not exist. It's
Dude,
fun.
soju
See, look,
is so
we can have
great.
fun.
And that was like the first time I'd ever had soju too. I was like, oh man, this is great. And I started like to drink the whole bottle and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
it's
like,
the silly
oh.
juice.
I was like, oh, I'm finna get lit. I was like, oh shit.
Well, I was like, you know what? Like, you've never had soju, and you're like, no. And I said, here, you're gonna have this one. And I think I gave you the bottle. Like, no, you go and have this. And I think the night took you where it needed to go. We were singing Bruno Mars and a whole bunch of shit. It was great.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna party with our Oshis again.
That's right. That was a lot of fun. I got a little schwasty. I'm gonna get real schwasty next time.
Man, yeah, because we got the rooms and they're connected to the convention center now, bro.
Yep.
It's over. That face when the water splashes too high. Man, I'm getting weird PTSD.
The time has come to grind upon your Oshi.
Oh no! Listen, you hear the horror stories that come out of there sometimes, but like, what was that most recent thing? TwitchCon. You guys remember?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Who was it? Was it Apollo from?
It was Hades.
It was Hades.
I think.
Yeah.
It was Hades, and then like a bunch of other people because they thought that she was just kind of bullshitting, but it was like, no, everybody got drugged at this fucking party from like Blurp. It was like, you know, the people that make like the little pop-up sounds. It wasn't TwitchCon's fault, but it was Blurp's fault. I don't know whatever came of the resolution to that, but all I know is that it happened.
Well, see, like that was one of those instances where I like saw what she posted, and I was like, you know, I don't think she would have a reason to just like make this up. Like, and I got into some arguments with some people. I was like, no, I actually think this is legit, guys. Like, I know, guys, I get it, but I think this is legit. And then more started posting about it, and I'm like, yeah, something happened. Something happened to this shit, man.
What a weird thing. Again, I got to make a whole do's and don'ts because apparently people just most people don't really have to experience that because they never really leave their house, unfortunately. They don't ever get the talk of like, cover your drinks, don't accept foreign drinks, make sure that you always have like someone that like find a safe point, have a point of contact, those kinds of things, especially
Always
if you're
go out in
a
groups
woman.
of people.
Yeah, especially if you're a VTuber, people want to, unfortunately, they want to do bad shit. And given the opportunity, especially like at a blurp party, you're probably going to get a little roofie in your drink, which is unfortunate, but it's true.
Well, look what happened
it happened
to
at
Camila.
Anime Expo.
Look what happened to Camila.
Yeah.
Like, she accepted a gift from somebody, and they put a freaking like tracker
Yeah.
in the gift that she gave, and then the person found her house and
Yeah,
knocked on
found
her
her house.
window. They
Yeah, and-
actively trying to break in when she
Yeah,
called the cops.
Yeah, and the cops were like, they got him, and he was like, no, it's cool. She's my friend. It's like, bro, Chilla's Art made a game about this. He made a game about this
It's
exact
literally Chilla's art game. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
It's
Holy
parasocial,
shit.
unironically.
Holy
he
fuck!
made an actual game, and then it happened. And then, like, the stream after that, because she's not in the same location, but then the phone started, like, reading out her location, and she at least yelled over it. So it's like, bro, this lady can't catch a break. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah,
I
for
know.
real.
But this is because we're in this like new generation of people that didn't grow up with all the like with your parents telling you like don't talk to strangers, when you go to a party, cover your drink, people they're too trusting of society, and so they don't understand that there are just evil people out there that will do evil shit. So you have to be
They have the book
you have to be
smarts.
on
A
your
lot of
guard.
them do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the book smarts because a lot of them do go to college. And unfortunately, they don't have the street smarts of just saying no to people like a lot. You're going to have to just say, nah, I'm good. Like, and even like me as a cisgendered male, I still don't accept stuff from like weird places or people. Like, if you fed me something at that Taco Bell cantina, I'm fucking done. It's over. But if it's anything like at like a party, I really don't partake in anything. It's just a me thing. I just don't like it.
I mean, that's smart. That's the problem is like I think I'm gonna sound like an old man here, but I feel like a lot of this current generation was too coddled. There's too much of them helicopter parents because they saw shit on the news about they're abducting your children. A man in a van is gonna swing by and just yoink your child and drive off, and that's totally how it works. And don't ever let your children outside. And it's just nannied children, and I think it's a lot of them kind of want their government to nanny them. They're just used to being nanny. They need someone above them to say, "What do I do next? What do I do, person above me?" And now they don't have the ability to go into a social situation and fend for themselves and know what to do and what not to do. And the problem is compounded by it seems to be that people in the content creation sphere are 1,000 times more degenerate than any rock star ever was.
Listen, I'm not going to tell you how many times I've heard VTubers wanting to fuck literally every living thing on the planet, but they are way more degenerate than I am, and that's unfortunate.
It's like content creators. It's how many I did a. You know what? I'm gonna self promote. Because I did a fucking little comic strip joke thing about this, and damn if it doesn't apply to this conversation. I'm going to send it to you, Gator, to pull it up, because this is just content creators in a nutshell. Because we have a genuine problem, because at least like rock stars and stuff, right? It was about, they party and the groupies would come, and when the groupies were there was like an unspoken sort of agreement that you were there to get fucked, and the rock star was there to fuck, and we were good. And now it's this schemy little date rape scenario, and I just posted in the stream chat. And now this is what we have. This is our
Oh no! Oh no!
yeah.
Oh no! Jesus Christ! No!
For some reason, they just can't say no to anyone. Even, and what's funny about this is that there is a VTuber. I'm not going to name any names, but you guys will know after the stream. But he was accused of talking to a 15-year-old very explicitly. Now, the way that he got out of it, and you're gonna think that this is absolutely insane, and you're gonna probably have your pitchforks and torches ready, but the way that he got out of getting canceled for it was because people said, like, they had the narrative of, well, he's grooming this 15-year-old, but then the excuse was, no, he's only talking explicitly sexually to this 15-year-old. He's not grooming them. Checkmate, idiot. And then they just left it. And they're still very prominent in the VTubing sphere. There was a video or two made about this exact situation. Apparently people forgot that existed. Again, we've been around the internet. Like I know, Cody knows, Gator, you know, Super Iron Bob knows, and Chen Poster knows. Everybody knows. Like, we've been around on the internet. That's why we're boomers. Is that we've seen things happen in cycles, and patterns are right here in front of us, and it's hard to not notice. Again, it's just a part of being either chronically online, like we are now, or it's just that we've seen it happen time and time again, and we know to keep our distance from certain people, or know when it's time to just call it quits. Same thing, it kind of loops back around. I don't know how we keep happening to do this, but it loops back around to, like, the content creators right now doing the election thing. Again, I'm not a very political person. I really don't care. If people are happy or sad about the choice or whatever, it's going to be another day. So I get to wake up every day, and I get to look at my computer and, I don't know, watch Dave have the placebo effect of having a PS5 Pro. Great. I'm gonna just look at that and just call him slurs all day. But that's just another day. It wouldn't matter if Kamala was in office or Trump was in office. But you know who's not going to hear about all that? The people on Twitter. That's it. I'm a content creator. If I make something, it's going to be for the people to enjoy. Usually it's not for them to enjoy. It's for, like, Crunchyroll fucking around with that guy's mail. Did you guys cover that yet?
Yeah. We haven't even talked about that yet.
That was another thing that happened while we were, like, out.
Yeah, the Crunchyroll mail thing is very real. They fucking opened Homeboy's personal mail. They took all the gifts that he got. Yeah, they took all the shit that people sent him, and they just gave it out to all the staff at Crunchyroll. I don't think they responded yet. I haven't really been keeping up with it, but, like, you know, it's a thing that happens. But there's still people that are going to be like, oh, that's so bad. I don't want to support Crunchyroll. But how will I watch my heckin' animes? I don't know, man. Learn to torrent. It's not that hard.
Well, I mean, I tell you the pirate streaming sites, but I don't want to get them taken down. But suffice it to say, 9anime has been replaced.
Okay, that's good. I need that in my life.
I will DM it to you.
Yeah, that was crazy. Here, let me find the tweet here. Yeah, here it is. It was David Wall. David Wall.
Yeah.
Here's his tweet here.
And for those that don't know who David Wald is, because I covered this on, like, a stream that I again, it was all fucking scuff, so I hate myself. But what happened was, David Wald is the guy that was responsible for the one character in Skate the Infinity, where he says, "What's up, my bros, hoes, and non-binary hoes," or something.
Oh, yeah,
that line. Yeah. That one. That's who David Wald is, in case you guys were wondering. That's what happened.
He's a very, very good actor. He's a very, very annoying person.
You know, ain't that the truth?
Yeah. Once again,
Yeah.
separate the art from the artist, sort of thing.
Well,
yeah, he's done some dynamite performances, absolutely dynamite performances. But my God, and he's one of those guys that you can only let him act. Don't let him work behind the scenes, and don't let him have a Twitter.
Well, that's every time I go to watch Strike Witches, which I haven't watched in a long time. But damn, Jamie Markey knows how to put it down. But I will not watch anything outside of that and Witchblade. I'm like, yeah, those are the only two things that exist. And even like Monica Rial, Azumanga Daioh, that's it. I don't want any of that.
Well, here's the thing with Jamie Markey. Like, if you have a character that's an airheaded bimbo that you need to sound as dumb as humanly possible, she's the perfect person for it, and she kills that role. And she has some feelings about that.
Very funny. I still think it's very funny that Monica Rial's best performance was as a sociopathic evil bitch in Saga. Yeah.
In Yojo Senki? Yeah.
Yeah, it was because, look, Monica Rial gets it done, but literally just gets it done. She is the C student of voice acting. The one time she killed it was as an evil sociopath that there's like God's strongest soldier, maybe.
Accidentally God's strongest soldier.
Yeah, like a sociopath who is the one person whom God is personally spitting in their eye. And I think maybe that's why it was the one time she turned into Dynamite Performance, because she didn't have to act quite as much. But I got off topic. But David Wall, yeah, they're stealing his shit, and as annoying of a person as he is, and he is, I mean, like I said, Necro pointed out, he did fuck up with some scripts. This is still fucked up. You don't do this to anybody. It doesn't matter how annoying they are. You don't steal their shit. And that's what Crunchyroll did. They stole his shit. Flat out.
See, the worst part is, like as Legal Mindset pointed out on his stream, it wasn't even necessarily illegal for them to do it because it was addressed to the Crunchyroll offices. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but if mail is sent to you, and it's like at your place of work, they have a right to open it because it's got their address on it.
Now the question is, because I saw that stream, but I don't remember this. Did he say whether or not it was legal for them to take it?
Now, they have a right to open it up, but it's kind of a legal gray area whether or not they could take it. I guess it depends on what it was. If it was just like somebody sent like a Funko Pop or something, I don't think necessarily it was illegal for them to just like put it up on the table. If somebody takes it, they take it. Because it is technically mail addressed to Crunchyroll, to their place of work, to their business, so they have a right to open it and inspect it. And I don't really think they have any obligation to do anything with it.
Listen, I think it's quite hilarious that they took whatever the fans were sending him and spread it around like the entire staffing area, because that means like, because a lot of the stuff that people sent him was technically a lot of yaoi. So so I guess it's kind of par for the course, but it's just like,
well, I mean, he is gay. So.
Like, do you have to really steal like the guy that is voicing over the yaoi? Like, cause like, let's be real here. This is California. Come on.
They sent him a box full of Axe body spray and dildos.
Listen, they can repurpose that though. They can just put it on their desk. And like Super Iron Bob pointed out, like, do you just like report this all to HR? Maybe HR stole all of it. They have the keychains. He just goes in there. I really need to report something. Something bad happened. He just sees it over in the corner. Oh yeah. What do you need, David? I'm here for you. Like, this dude's insane. Thanks, Crunchyroll. They steal money the same way they steal mail.
I mean, Crunchyroll has we back when AO was doing a bit more stuff. We had a man on the inside at Crunchyroll, and man, I could tell you that place. I think I might have talked about it on this stream before. It's the way that place is run is a joke. Like, yep. It's like an anime club somehow accidentally stumbled into a position of the industry and they didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know what to do. I mean, you had their PR guy, their fucking PR guy, laughing at people and being racist to white people.
Mm-hmm.
Not just again, it's not just something like Niji Sanji with Uki, right? Where it's just like one of their performers. No, this is the guy that's supposed to be public fucking relations is saying, your complaints actually don't matter, get fucked white people, and then a stream of uppercase ha's. I don't think you could botch it more than that. Like, and there was all kinds of weird stuff, like people, like just the fact they couldn't even do a simple fax in office. They were using the Kinkos across the street, or their bathroom was unusable for the longest time. Like, his place was like, it was a shithole. Like, who is in charge? Nobody's in charge. I think this is why Sony swooped in and just looked. We're just taking the name. Get out. They had no IT guy. And then their site got, like, before their site got hacked, we were on AO saying, these people have no IT. They're fucked. One thing happens and they're fucked. They have no IT. And then their site got hacked, and like users' private info got stolen, and the whole thing was shut down for a while.
Yeah, and according to Miles, it never happened. Don't remember any of that stuff that happened before, like the Crunchyroll viewer that was uploaded onto their site, and people started clicking and downloading it. They got free spyware. It was great.
Yeah. The whole site was run on like 10-year-old code and shit. It was like something awful. It was like pretty much like it was run by Lotax. It was a mess. The company's always been a mess, and now it's sort of collapsed under itself. And the Crunchyroll of today is not that Crunchyroll. I think it's important to point out. It's just the name Sony is using.
Yeah, I mean, it's still
the brand
it's
decided to use.
Here's what they did: they took Crunchyroll's desiccated corpse and they ripped off its skin and they put it over top of Funimation. That's literally what Sony did.
Yeah,
it's just Funimation with a skin suit.
Yeah, and even then, like a lot of Funimation people got fired too. It's just sort of a weird sewn together corpse thing that Sony put together. It was just like two recognizable brands. It's Sony's anime wing. That's what it is. It's the anime wing of Sony.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
They like Frankenfranned that shit.
Oh God, yeah, that's the perfect way to describe
it. They Frankenfranned that shit. It's like, both of you, couldn't stop screwing up, so we just kind of took random bits of your body parts and turned you into an amalgamation that's a sin against God.
It'll never be made into an anime, and that's a damn shame.
No, it never will.
There's a new, I keep forgetting there's a new, I don't know if the new one's still going on, but there's a new one. There's a second Frankenfran.
There's a second Mr. President, a second Frankenfran has hit the tower.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see what the new one's called again. It's Frankenfran Frantic. As it is. Started in 2019.
Oh my God. This is the first time I'm hearing about this just now.
Yeah. Whole new Frankenfran. The scans were coming out slow, so I kind of, I guess, forgot about it. I mean, I remembered, right? But it was always the thing, go check back in, because the scans were coming out slow. Mangadex. Is it still going? I hope it's still going. Oh yeah, well yeah. A new scan came out last month, so yeah, it's still going.
Oh my God, it's still going on.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Don't let this distract you from the fact that more boomery shit happened while you guys weren't even looking. It's Metal Slug Tactics.
Oh yeah. Metal Slug Tactics drop. I have not played it. It's not my type of game, but as a SNK fanboy, I fully encourage if you are into those kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics style games, go play that shit. I've seen it in action. I'm of two minds if the pixel art lives up, because Metal Slug is I think it can safely say it's the best pixel art in all of pixel art is Metal Slug. And the new one, it's like it's got that Metal Slug feel, but it also kind of has that feel of like, I'm spelling it with NU, new pixel art. You know what I mean? Like the kind of thing you see in like Shredder's Revenge or the Streets of Rage remake.
Yeah, the thing I need 8 gigabytes to have, but the old ones I didn't have to.
Yeah, it was like that new pixel art that's kind of very bouncy and doughy, if there's a way to describe it. But it's not bad, but it has a feel to it. Like, yeah, this feels like modern, hyper animated pixel art. It's got that feel to it. It's like Metal Slug mixed with that. It's not bad. It's not bad at all, but it's got that like it's you know what it is? It's like you're seeing an alien wear your friend's skin, and the alien's friendly, but it's like it's off-putting, man. It's off-putting that you're doing that. It's not my friend, man. I like you, but you're not Jim. Why are you walking around in Jim's face? It's weird. It's weird. You have Jim's face.
It's like Animorphs when Axe uses somebody else's form to transform into an Animorphs, and it's just like, whoa, it's kind of weird, bud.
Yeah, it's like again, it's not like a Skinwalker. It's not a skinwalker, but it's like the being is taking the form of your loved one so that you'll be more comfortable looking at it. And it's like, okay, but yeah, but it's still weird that you're like my mom or something. Like you're my
You mean
my
like
wife or whatever.
what movie was that? Was it Contact? Yeah, it was Contact.
And then they parodied it in Venture Brothers, where the alien came before Dr. Venture as his father.
Yeah.
And he had an episode. It was like, look, I just thought that this would be an easier way to talk to you. Like, what? You want to see my real form? Fine. That's the kind of vibe Metal Slug Tactics give me. It's like, you look good. You look like my friend Metal Slug, but you're wrong. You're not Metal Slug. It's not bad at all. It's just a weird back of the brain tingle.
I feel like that about like any remake now, because it's just like they always do the say the lion part. We updated it for modern audiences.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not political. Sometimes they updated it for modern audiences because modern audiences aren't as good as games as they used to be.
Yeah.
So look, I have strong opinions on Sparking Zero.
Yeah. I've heard, but just know that if it's what I think it is, then you have the same disdain that Dave does. He kind of teased that he was going to play it again, but he's like, no, this game sucks.
It commits the sin that it seems like every Dragon Ball fighting game commits, and it's pissing me off because I just want to play as Fused Zamasu and beat the shit out of people. That's all I fucking want. And they keep taunting me, look, we'll put all your favorite characters in it, but it absolutely falls apart at high level. Every fucking time they try to make a Dragon Ball game, it falls apart at high level. Oh my god, Sparking Zero needs like 12 patches. Like, it could be the best Dragon Ball fighting game. It could be. But not till they fix this shit. Like, everything has a counter to it. The game just becomes this series is supposed to be Dragon Ball Fight Simulator. That's not what Sparking Zero is. I don't remember the part in Dragon Ball Super where the two characters just kept vanishing behind each other's backs for 12 straight minutes.
Yeah, that seems to be like every single piece of gameplay that I've seen is always like compilations of people, doing the meme, the Aizen meme, like, oh, sorry, did you expect me to take your attack? Well, actually, I was standing over here the entire time. Oh, actually, that Aizen was a mirage. I was actually over here.
Yeah, it's
nothing personal, kid.
It's too counter heavy, man. It's too counter heavy. Everything has to have a counter. Everything has to have a reversal to it. The counters have counters. Counter the counters. And then because the counters can lead to other stuff, they have to make the counters fallible by letting them be countered by other counters. It's like, this is become cancer. It's become cancer. And usually the counters only have one way around them. That the reason people keep vanishing behind each other's back is because the only other way to beat that is with a super counter. And a super counter is done by pressing up square right at the moment you are hit. The problem with this is that these fucking idiots at Bandai Namco put a game with this much fast-paced gameplay, with so much reliance on timing, in delay-based netcode in 2024.
See, I'm a very simple man. I have a rule that if a game has delay-based netcode, I will simply not purchase it. I'll wait for it to get really cheap. I'll wait for it to get really cheap on a Steam sale for like $5, and then I might get it. But I will not play it online.
I had a review copy of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game, the All-Star Battle R that came out in the last year.
That killed that game.
I played one online match, and I actually think that might have just killed whatever joy I had left in my body. I said, I'm just not going to play this ever. I don't even want to play offline. I just don't want to play this now.
Yeah, it's
sorry.
ridiculous.
Roll, and the fucked up part is, I know this is not like a part of the thing, but like Dave complains about rollback netcode every single time he plays a fucking game. Every time he plays any fighting game, he says how bad rollback netcode is and how delay based is better, because at least rollback or delay based you see it, but in rollback it just kind of dresses it up and it predicts everything with AI or whatever the fuck he says. but
He's an
delay
idiot.
based is objectively worse, and
Yeah.
I hate it with every fiber of my being.
How
I
the
want to die now
fuck does he not like rollback netcode?
because he gets spanked by people that are better than him. That's why he dropped King of Fighters, the latest one. He dropped that one quick because people were just like one character knocking him out. And
Because
he
the way
got
King
really
of Fighters
pissed.
works, the way King of Fighters works is you have to actually be good at the game to like get ahead in that game. And because he can't find like a fucking cheese character that someone else hasn't already like figured out what their weakness is, he doesn't like it. It's not like Street
Well, that's
Fighter
what
where
happened
one
with
character
Tekken.
where one character will be like supremely broken to the point
did
that
that
like
too.
somebody like DSP will just like, you know, they'll ape that character forever until they get patched, and then he'll find the new
And not only
broken
that,
character.
not only that, KOF is one of the king franchises of legacy skill. When a new KOF comes out, because each KOF game so much carries over, the day it releases, there's some Mexican kid that is as good as someone that's been playing that game for decades, because he has.
Yep.
He has. He played KOF 98 and 2002 his entire childhood. He jumps into KOF 17, 18. He's going to kick your ass. There's legacy skill out the ass in KOF. You can't, like, you jump into KOF knowing that. You got to go through the fucking meat grinder if you want to get into that series. And you're probably going to have to fight someone that beat Rugal, too.
You know, and so like when it came to Tekken, I know that like this is gonna be really quick, but when we played Tekken, he was playing the one lady, I can't remember, it's like June lady. I don't actually play it, so you have to forgive me.
June Kazama.
Yeah, he played as her, and she was like really broken in the game when like it first came out, and he was like dominating people, and then they nerfed her into the ground, and he's like, oh, well, I want to switch to Yoshimitsu, and then people started like catching on and beating him. Like he caught hands. He played Street Fighter, and he used Bison, who was like at the point when he came out, it was like a pay to win because you only had to have him. And
Typical
because
Capcom.
he's so top tier, because he's so top tier, he was just bodying scrubs all day. But when he gets to master rank, and if he goes anywhere in like the 1550s and up, he starts getting absolutely wrecked. And then he's like, I don't even want to play this anymore. Just kill me. I don't want to play this. Fucking rollback netcode. Thank you, Cannons. Thank you, Cannon Brothers. He does that.
Yeah, he sucks. He's DSP as shit. He's DSP as shit. Oh, because I'll tell you, I play the shit out of Street Fighter 6. I mean, occasionally, dipping in and out. I picked up Bison because I'm a longtime Bison main. I can tell you that motherfucker was a knowledge check. Because I don't know, he wasn't really pay to win. If anyone paid to win, it's fucking Akuma.
Traditionally,
But, like,
Akuma is paid to win.
Oh yeah, he dropped Terry, by the way, when he came out.
Yeah, like Akuma's pay to win. Bison is a knowledge check because like Bison, he just has to keep going aggro. Like Bison's defense sucks. His defense is ass. But like he's got all kinds of things that like mess. Like you got to know like what's safe on block and what isn't, because he could like if he does the EX stomp and you block it, you got to know that no, it's still Bison's turn, and a lot of people don't know because they block that EX stomp, and it looks like you can punish it, but you can't. And then he's gonna get that wombo combo in your ass because you're gonna let go of the button. It's Street Fighter 6. Grabs are stupid in that game, so he could just grab. So yeah, that doesn't surprise me that he could just like knowledge check his way through the lower ranks, and then he gets to the people that know what's safe and what's not on Bison, and then bam.
Well, that's
Yeah,
typically
the
how he
Tekken one
works
was
with
even
like
funnier.
every character. He'll find the one broken character. He remembers their moveset from the last game, and so he just exploits it, beating up scrubs that don't know how to counter certain moves. And then he gets to the top tier where people who have played with these characters forever, they know how to counter everybody. And he just gets shit on, and then he gets mad and blames the game. He's like, oh, broken counter mechanics. Oh, broken throw mechanics. Look, he's just going to throw me again. He's just going to throw me again. He like, wigs out on stream.
Oh no! If you really want fun, if you use Pig Go, just type in pattern play. You will be there for fucking decades.
Dude,
because he says pattern
playing
so
is literally how
much.
fighting games work. It's literally a flow chart. It's a mental flow
Yeah,
chart.
he says that too. He says
But that is literally fighting games. That is how they work. There are
If you're
certain
playing someone,
moves.
look,
There's certain frames.
as someone that I play fighting games at a pretty high level. When you're fighting someone not as good as you will either try new shit, like, oh, this is the guy to practice this on, or you're just gonna autopilot because you don't have to think. Like, this guy doesn't know. I can't tell you how many times I've gone on King of Fighters, fought a guy that I'm playing Genitz, and I know, oh shit, he doesn't know how to get past the tornadoes. And I just pop tornadoes all day. Until I get bored and want to do the big flashy combo, and then I jump back out and stop popping tornadoes again. Like, if you're playing someone that you know ain't good, you're gonna just flowchart. You're just like, oh, cool, I can just relax.
I could just sit back as Ryu and just pop off Hadokens, and then when they try to jump over them, I just Shoryuken, and they're just like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, literally, when you're at a higher level and you run into something like that, your thought is, oh, cool, I have a breather. I can relax this one. This is like a nice little rest area between my tough matches. Thank you, mid-level player, for my little breather.
I see Akko in the chat. Hey, Akko. Gato.
And yeah, that's your friend. That's your friend. He's the breather. He's the guy. He's the guy. The better people are like, oh, cool. I could just kind of.
Well, I remember in Soul Calibur 2 to be specific, like Keelik, if you didn't know how to counter his moves, he was incredibly broken. And so I literally spent every single day and night practicing his Nightmare so I could just like shit on just shit on people that played Keelik, and they got so mad, and it was glorious.
You know what? I got one final thing to leave with you, because I know it's like 1 o'clock in the morning for
1:30 over here.
Or many. Yeah. So this is the one thing. Dave is mad at me because I had a clip of where he was doing his stupid little DSP Reacts stream where people pay money for him to probably watch their video. Well, one of the videos was when Doki and one of her friends were on Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, she met Gumi randomly in the ranked queue, which was it was hilarious. This was right before the Sejam Slam.
Yeah, and what happened was Dave was watching this video, and then he like makes a statement that like their laughs and them just having fun was like hurting his ears. He said it was like stepping on a dog's tail. And I thought it was like the weirdest thing. So I took that clip and I had to like edit out the one part, but don't worry, it was like dead air and nothing was happening. He saw that clip, and someone else that he was going to be like being interviewed by saw that clip and said, bro, you were being disrespectful to VTubers. I don't want to do this interview with you. And he got mad as shit. He went on like a 15-20 minute rant about that. It was like a week or two after that clip had like been there, or that stream had happened. And I'm like, bro, you have to get past this, because he was already shitting on VTubers before that, to be fair. But when Pippa rated him on Kick like a week or two ago, however long it was, that was kind of a bad move. But it was also funny because he was like talking to them, like he used his like dad voice, his soy voice. Oh, hey, it's Pippa. Oh, thanks for the raid. Oh my god. And he was like thinking that those people, the 1.8K people, were gonna like stay there. Today he had 9 people watching him on Kick. Glad it was worth him to suck off VTubers, man.
Well, here's the thing too, is like he had his chat like so locked down tight that like all of the people that were raiding from Pippa's stream couldn't even like post in chat. So you know what they did? They just immediately turned off the stream and left. So like even when DSP's like they're getting the benefit of the doubt, he still screws it up.
He doesn't understand. It's the whole point of a fucking stream is the interaction. Because he's just sad little pissant that needs to be in control.
Listen, is your name Jade Rasmussen? Shut the fuck up. Give me money. Oh, wait, you gave me money? Thank you, Iron Chef Sakai. Thank you, Rend. Yeah, these people that actually are totally different people and not the same fucking person. Yeah, don't worry. My streams aren't carried by 5 people. Sorry, I'm going on a rant. You might want to stop me.
It astounds me that he has anybody that gives him money. Like, I get VTubers, right? I even get like the worst VTubers. Like, it's the anime girl blinders. I get the simpery. I can't fathom how you simp for Darkseid, Phil.
He's a gamer just like you and me, except he's not.
For a guy that like, you know, makes money playing video games, he really seems to hate video games.
Yeah, they're on a conveyor belt. That's why like he finished Dragon Ball, he just shipped it off. He said, we're not playing that again. I believe he actually rage quit the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign he only played it for like maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Bro, the Call of Duty campaigns are like the easiest bits of content in Call of Duty, like at all.
The fucked up part is he played it on veteran, and the part that he like turned down the difficulty at was the first mission, which is really easy. Chenpai saw me play it.
Bro, the
and,
first
like,
mission of like any game is supposed to be like the one that introduces you to like all the mechanics of the game. Like how
he ran ahead of the AI. If you want to know his teammates, he ran ahead of them and then complained that there was no way to shoot anyone because he was surrounded. But in that mission, you're supposed to kind of like be in the back, and if you just kind of take your time and shoot the people, you really don't get hit hardly ever. But he decided he wanted to be Rambo and just go out there and mow down people, and it didn't work so great. So he said, "Fuck this," and then he moved it down to regular instead of having it at veteran. Well, he gets to the part where he's at the fundraiser, the Bill Clinton fundraiser thing, and just a little bit after that, he's like, "Oh, this is boring," and he wage quit it. A wage quit is different than a rage quit. The rage quit means he gets angry and he can't beat it. A wage quit is when he
means
makes
he's not
no
making
money.
enough money on it, and he just says,
Yes.
"Oh, I didn't get any super chats on this, so I'm quitting it."
Yeah, he had $50 or so, and then as soon as he turned it off and went to the multiplayer, people started giving him money, which I think is like the ultimate troll, because it's like, yeah, you're gonna do what we want you to do, not that like whatever you're doing is not like what we want, which is kind of just a really cucked way of living. By the way, he spent $72 on stamps today or yesterday at Costco. Have fun with that.
Yeah, what was the point
$72
of
on
that?
stamps? Fuck you
Listen,
stamping?
Yeah, that's what I asked.
That's
I
crazy.
feel, like, I feel like he just got ripped off by like a stamp salesman, like some
Right?
some cartoon stamp salesman in like a big plaid zoot suit and a hat. Like, hey there, Sonny, are you looking to make some mail? You're not going to want to just send your mail to your mama with any old stamp. You got to show her you love her with this special limited edition stamp.
Don't look up DSP and his spark plugs. You will be very disappointed in mankind, or maybe you'll be pretty proud because they at least fleeced him. So that's my DSP segment for the stream.
Yeah, I will never understand why people unironically support Darkside Phil. I will never understand it. Like, I get why people like why detractors like make content on him, because like it's a train wreck. You just can't look away. It's like every single time you think that he can't possibly do something insane, he finds a way. The Jurassic Park, life finds a way. DSP will find a way to take some modicum of success and turn it into abject failure. Like his current arc, like his Kino Casino arc, right? Like he got a bunch of super chats up front, and now he's just back to normal.
You know what my favorite part is that he got paid $2,000 to eat the Krabby Patty meal. Didn't happen.
He didn't do it.
Scammed them. Yeah, it's great.
He literally scammed this super chat dono scam.
Oh, and his cope was, well, people didn't want me to do that anyways. They enjoyed the Addams Family Burger King thing. He was gonna do some cookie place that he said is like right across the street. It's not Crumble. It's like Craze Cookies or something like that. And he decided to not do it. His cope was that no one seemed interested and they thought it was a dumb idea. The reality of it is that some detractor guy on the internet said that he knows someone that works there and they could mess with his order, or they would like physically assault him in the store. It was so stupid. He was like, no one's gonna do anything like that. They're so fucking stupid. And then he was like, oh, no one wanted me to do that anyways. All right, man. Damn it, you're getting me to talk about DSP. Son of a bitch.
Well, it's like I said at the beginning of the stream, right? Like, this is the one episode where like all of the everything, all the timelines, all the dimensions merge, right? So
that is right. This links back to the thing we were talking about. He's starting DS Politics on the Kick channel.
Yeah,
I told you.
Oh my god! Wait. What was that fucking that poster he had that like it looked like it was like run through an AI by someone who's ESL?
Yes, it's like how you do this.
I found it. Hold on, I'll post it in stream chat. Let me get back to stream chat here. This is how you The is how you do govern.
Yep. It's the worst looking thing ever. Just make sure that you guys put that on your walls.
Oh
Print
my
it out
God.
and put it on there. It's beautiful. Come on.
This is how you do go.
No,
the-
it's not even-
the. Yeah,
The
the
is how.
you do govern.
Man, yeah, I forgot. See, look at we had. You should be thanking me. This right here is the whole stream. It was the November to remember, and look at where we are. Politics.
Wow, what a month. Gator. It's only the 9th. I mean, literally, like, it's 9 days. It's just 9 days in November. And we've already had Trump winning in a landslide and winning the popular vote. We've had, like, DSP losing his mind and deciding, oh, Kino Casino, did really well on their political stream, and I was on it. Therefore, I can make a politics stream.
Show them how you do govern.
Yeah, show you how you do govern. You have, as per usual, the sector becoming a complete shit show. People getting warrants out for their arrest. I mean, it's just, this month is going to be insane. I can already feel it. This is going to be one of those may you live in interesting times sort of deals.
And Overlord movie came out.
That's right.
Just
Overlord
the
movie
icing on the
came out,
cake.
which is going to be Kino, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, the same week too. For me, this has been one hell of a week. It's magical. It's magical. I love every second of it.
It is like the meme magic is with us, guys.
Maybe this will be the month we finally start Gator's adventures through KOF.
I think we need to at this point.
Man, I'm kind of like waiting for the Capcom versus SNK 2 to come out in the next fighting collection, bro. I might try to knuckle that one down. I'm really into it.
I'm tentative. I want to see, because I'm worried they're gonna like do a censor, and if they do a censor, I ain't buying it. And that's the one I'm kind of suspicious about.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
Also, I feel like I haven't played Capcom vs. SNK2 in forever, and it just kind of feels like, personally for me, like I feel like I graduated from that game a long time ago. Like that's the game that made me then go check out SNK, and I realized, oh, this is way better, and so I just left Capcom at that point. I go, wow, this is better. This feels better. These characters are better. This is better. And I go back to CVS2. It's like, this is just Street Fighter. It feels like Street Fighter. It's like Street Fighter Alpha with some neat ideas that open the game up to get broken in half.
Man, but that pixel work though?
Oh, it's kind of... Well, I can't even give it full credit for that, because half of it's copied from Street Fighter Alpha. Morrigan's sprite won't die. Like, the new sprite work is fantastic. If only it were like that across the board. The Street Fighter Alpha stuff kind of blends in with it, but you can still feel the difference. But then, like, Morrigan's sprite, I don't know what the fuck was going on with Morrigan's
They literally
sprite,
just never update her sprite ever.
Yeah.
I
think just really proud of that sprite.
I think when Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came out, I think that was like the first time Morrigan had ever had anything new.
Yeah. Sad.
One day. One day.
CVS2 is great if you haven't played anything SNK made. Like, if that's your first experience to SNK, it's great. It's not a bad game by any means, but I just feel like I go back to CVS2 and I just feel how it feels. And like, this feels like your old car that you got a better car specifically because you wanted to upgrade from this car. I mean, this wasn't a bad car, but your new car is just better. And you don't really have a reason to drive that old car except to like remember it a bit. But then you're like, okay, now back to my new shiny car. Like, you're driving around for a little bit. Yeah, oh, that was some memories. All right, where's my new car? My new car's nice.
Do they still have the... I was just thinking about this. Do they still have the Krabby Patty meal at Wendy's, or did they finally get rid of it?
I think it's done, maybe?
Well, I mean, Pippa did that stream, like, last night, wasn't it? The night before? Where she finally did it? Because she was initially going to do it a while ago, and then her computer died.
I'm looking on... Yeah, I don't think it... I think it's done. I'm looking on...
I mean, wasn't it just a normal burger with like
Pretty much.
mayonnaise or some shit, like something really lazy added onto it.
I'm checking the food delivery apps that I stopped using, just to see if they're up there anymore.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Love Snort Hogan. Snort Hogan. That's the Snort Hogan shout out. Man, I know originally you were a little skeptical, but you just had to hang in there. That was literally the moment. Just hang in there. It gets better.
Let me see.
But yeah,
I don't see. I think it's done now.
Yeah, it was there for a hot minute, but I think it's just done. Or at least it's not in
I
as
think
many
the
places
Frosty. I think the Frosty is still there, but they got rid of like the actual meal. It looks like. Yeah, so they've still got the no. I see it here on Uber Eats. It's still up there. The Krabby Patty collab burger. Let's see how much this actually is. Right? Okay, so a large combo is like $13. Let's see, pineapple under the sea Frosty. Okay, if you get everything on it as is, it's like literally $13. Literally 13. He could have spent $13. Okay, maybe more because he lives on the West Coast. So like what?
No, it's about the
16,
same.
17-ish maybe. It's crazy. Like he could have spent that much and just gotten a shitty burger.
But then I couldn't scam everyone for $2,000. Come on, get with the program.
It's crazy. I should do a stream where I eat this stupid burger just to shit on DSP. That's what I should do. Just spite him by eating the damn Krabby Patty. I know I already told people I'm going to try the gamer soups. So this is something I could bring up kind of like as we wind down here is that I decided to support some VTubers that I like and use their code to buy some gamer subs. And they actually threw in here. I'll pull this up on stream here. There, yeah, this is a screenshot for ants here, so I gotta zoom in a little bit. But yeah, so I bought some gamer subs here, and I tried it. It's actually pretty good. I got the anime girl thighs flavor, which is Flork of Cows. If you guys know who that is, he draws the funny sock people. That's his flavor. It tastes like orange creamsicle, and it's very good. It's a very conspicuous color though. It's like a yellowish orange, so it's I've jokingly called it the gamer girl pee flavor.
What?
But yeah, this is all I got, and because I ordered the shaker, and I ordered the anime girl thighs flavor of gamer subs, and this is what they sent. They send you like 4 free packets of various flavors with the shaker, and then they sent me gamer soups with it too. So maybe I'll do I've been thinking about doing a stream where I like actually make the gamer soups and try it and let you guys know how it tastes. Maybe I'll parlay that into also eating the Krabby Patty burger just to piss off DSP. Supporting a VTuber company CEO, good call. Yeah. I used Ali's code for this one. I'll use Flork's code because Flork's code for GamerSubs actually goes to charity. So next time I order something from GamerSubs, which I definitely will, because like this stuff is tasty. Stuff is super tasty, and it's better than drinking like a bunch of soda. So I'm doing 2 good things at the same time. That makes me feel good. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll eat the gamer soups and the Krabby Patty burger and let people know what I think. And the best part is like it's shitting on DSP, so that makes it even better content.
Hey, speaking of this, I feel like we should dip our toes into this before we wrap it up. Kind of tying in with the last couple things we talked about. So recently, a VTuber was playing some Tekken
Oh,
and
yes.
decided to get a little spicy.
Yes.
And the FGC has declared her public enemy number one because the FGC is doing
retarded.
its damnedest to ruin. Yeah, doing its damnedest to ruin fighting games.
You know, I think it's like really funny, but I saw what the aftermath was, and can't say I'm not surprised, but you know, it is what it is. I thought it was funny. I think it's really funny when it's just like a cute anime girl. If that makes it any better. Like, if it's a cute anime girl, I'm like, yeah, that's actually funny.
It's why she did it. It's funny.
That's how Mari En, she was doing a little freestyle rap, and
Joe Biden, he's got a lot of
yep, and it just came out, and I'm like, you know what? Like, that's some good shit.
It's like, no, wait. Maybe, I didn't say it. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Like, bro, just own that shit. I think it's fucking hilarious. I think more VTubers should say slurs. Not really.
I agree, because it's funny.
Exactly.
And funny is more important than your feelings.
That's right.
And if it doesn't just say the world, pull up the picture of the guy that's been trying to cancel her. Hey, this is basically what the FGC is now. Is this guy? I posted in stream chat like earlier.
Yeah, this dude.
Yes.
Yeah, like this is the this is the dude. This is the dude. I'm gonna keep it small. Because you get the point.
I'm gonna keep it small.
I'm gonna keep it small on the screen here, but yeah, you could like this is the person that's like, you did a heckin' racism, chud. You're canceled.
I mean, you could tell by the painted nails and the hair and everything. You know he plays Strive.
That's a Bridget main. This is what they look like.
Mm.
There's probably a skirt.
Bridget
You just
main,
can't see the skirt in the picture.
Oh my god, I can't believe Super Iron Bob would be heckin' Politorino in my fucking chat. No politics in my chat. Now allow me to tell you why Trump spat on my Twitter. Just kidding, don't do that. Man, that one was a banger. Yeah, the no politics in chat people really said fuck that and went on Twitter and said everyone needs to know that they're not welcome here.
Yeah, look, politics aside, the FGC, especially the Strive people, are just the worst. The absolute worst. Fucking NY Chris G, who's like an Evo winner, has been calling out some of these political motherfuckers in the FGC today. He was blowing up on people that were like going after Latinos because they voted Trump. And it's like the FGC at some point, because what I think happened, honestly, is the FGC used to be cool because it used to be like, you know, meet me in the fucking game. We trash talk. I mean, if there was the infamous one dude that fought Low Tier God. I always forget his name, but the dude that whooped Low Tier God's ass and then trash talked him right to his face. That's how it used to go. Viscon. Yeah. Viscon. I know I'm going to forget his name again. I know I'm going to forget his name again the minute we end stream. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. But yeah, when Viscon versus Low Tier God, that was what the FGC used to be. Talk shit, get hit.
Well, you know, we were talking about DSP. DSP came from the fighting game community, and that's why he is the way he is.
Yeah, they forced him out. Yeah, they didn't like. It wasn't like, well, we beat you, and now you have to like get better, and he went back in. It was like, no, you get the fuck out. You're actually bad. Because he was like trying to like pretend that he was. I'm not doing this. You guys are just trying to force me to talk about Phil. Fuck you.
But no, it just like illustrates like what the FGC is now. Because like back in the day, like a guy like Phil, like they threw him out, just tossed him out and said, no, you can't sit at our table at lunch anymore. You're gone. You're banished. You're cast out. You're banished. And now
they do that.
Now they do that stuff. Well, now they're all Phil, and that's the problem.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a big reason why we have this problem is twofold. One, the old guard came from the arcade days where you fought someone face to face, man to man.
And if you got absolutely shit on, you had to take it.
Yeah, you had to take it. You had to face whoever it was, and then you couldn't just have them ejected from the arcade because you didn't like the look in their eyes. You had to fight them, and you had to get good enough to beat them. And now you have this new wave of people that come from playing at home, playing online, removed from that social circle, where now they're just, you're not a person to them, right? And that combined with a lot of these people are pretty mediocre, but they can remove the competition through social means. So if they can't beat you and get that tournament prize money, they can cancel you and remove you as competition. And I do believe that plays a big role in why a lot of the FGC has become the way it's become. Whereas, like, if we can sort of keep this system going, I think a really good example is Guilty Gear. Because for those who don't know, see, Guilty Gear is not one scene. Strive has its scene. Everybody knows the Strive players, but see, old school Guilty Gear XX players are a much different breed. Old school Guilty Gear XX players, there is a lot of like foreign racist people. Dude, one of the best Guilty Gear XX players I've ever seen is an incredibly racist Arab man. Like, it's like old internet and they don't play. And a lot of like the most just like vicious Guilty Gear players are vicious dudes online. And these soft rainbow flag people want a chance at winning, which they won't have if those old school Guilty Gear XX people are still in the competition. So they need to remove them and they want to create a safe space, but it's not a safe space because of my feelings and, oh my God, I'm harassed. No, they want a safe space where they can win. Because if you want to see an example of what would happen if they didn't, there was a prominent, like a top-level Strive player who is a transgender individual who decided to actually, credit to them, put their money where their mouth is and fight against a very high-ranked Kai Kiske player who goes by the tag of Yinball. And I think you can figure out how it's spelled. And Yinball.
Oh, yeah.
Yinball was like smoking the leaderboards. Yinball, for a while, I think Yinball had finally dropped the game. I'm not sure if he still plays. But
you
for
will
a
never
while,
be a real VTuber. You have no model. You have no rig.
But for a while, Yinball was like number one, number two. Like he was like, if he got dethroned as number one Kai, he'd get back up there. Like he was killing the leaderboards. So I was like, well, we've got to dethrone him. How dare he have that name? So this trans player went against Yinball and got smoked. And like this trans player was a tournament player. Like there's nothing to sneeze at and got smoked. And it really does show this is why. And you look at what happened with Infiltration. Infiltration isn't just a scary fucking player. A scary player. Half the games he picks up, he's like top 10 at. So what did they do? Well, he had he got in like a scuff with his wife. He beat his wife because he grabbed her. And like he was like having marital problems and got a divorce, and like his wife had a bruise on her wrist. And he beats his wife. We have to cancel him and take away all his sponsorships and get. No, they canceled him because Infiltration. You take Infiltration out of the tournament, you now have a significantly better chance of placing somewhere where you get prize money.
And this is ultimately like what this whole thing is about, is that nobody's really actually offended. It's simply, it's all about eliminating competition. Why do you think
power.
that? Yeah, it's power because you get to exert your authority over somebody else's life. And it's about eliminating competition. Why do you think so many women tell other women to cut their hair as short as humanly possible? Because it eliminates the competition. Like they no longer have to worry about that girl with the pretty blonde hair because now she looks like Sinead O'Connor. And this is what it is.
Yeah.
This is, and it goes, this literally is the crux of everything. And I think somebody I saw a post on Post, ironically, about this, and they said, just like, without like going into like a long rant about like the mindset of this and whatever, just say this: they're acting like women. Because that's ultimately like what it boils down to, is they're trying to eliminate their competition through underhanded means. And you go through anything like not just like, women cutting their hair or people like trying to cancel people for wrong think in the fighting game community. You go to like internet drama, right? Like, why do people target like the top most popular streamers and try to cancel them? Because they're making money and someone else isn't. So they want to like drag them down and destroy them because they feel like it'll make them better. That's why you have like all of these like V-tweeters trying to tear down these popular VTubers because they're jealous. Like, it at the end of the day, it goes down to they're just jealous, and they think that the way to make it to the top is just to tear down everybody that's in front of you.
They're crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, they are. They're crabs in a bucket. I mean, not to even talk about the sector, to talk about this, but it's the same thing no matter what community you go into. It's the same sort of thing. You have bottom feeders that want to drag everybody down to their level because they can't make it.
Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of what's happened with the FGC, sadly. I mean, again, I've been very blessed that my favorite company is sort of avoided this. Thank you, Saudi money. And the fan base around it has avoided this for the most part. There's still a lot of awful Western KOF fans, but they are diluted by the Mexicans. Viva Mexico.
the base Mexichads who, happen to, they swung very heavily in the a different direction in the election.
Yeah. But like, I think that's also why a lot of this crowd won't get into SNK fighters, because there's so many like people in other countries that play these games, especially KOF.
They're uncancelable.
Won't play along. Yeah, they won't play along. Like if you try to make your gender identity make you like a protected class in a Mexican tournament, you'll just get bombarded with ja, and they'll call you things you don't understand because you don't speak their language, and then they'll smoke you.
They will come at you with slurs that you've never even conceptualized. They will make up new ones in the Spanish language just to make fun of you. Yeah. And you can't understand them.
I posted that comparison thing. I think it was on the AO channel. It was a Strive top 8 versus a KOF top 8. And the Strive top 8 had all these like pride flags of whatever special fucking identity they have. I can't keep track of all these damn pride flags. And then you look at the KOF one. It's all like Mexico, Chile, Mexico. One guy from the U.S. It's like mostly Mexico, a couple other Latin American countries, and then Strive. It's all rainbow stripes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Strive just Strive invited the vampire. Strive let them in, acquiesced to them, changed multiple characters to be identitarian. Bridget was the last gasp. Every other girl character has had their design toned down because they know, as much as they court that shit, they know Baiken is where the money is.
Yeah.
And if they tone down Baiken's design,
it's literally over.
Yeah.
But so they hit every other character. Literally every other character.
Yep. But not Baiken, because they know. Like Baiken will like that's like the one. It shows how disingenuous their outreach, quote unquote, is. That they keep trying to sell Bridget to the West, and because I don't know if you know this, they don't do the trans thing in Japan, and I don't mean like the Japanese don't. No, I mean the trans angle on Bridget does not exist in the Japanese version. Like there is lines added to Bridget's profile in the English version. It's marketing. It's marketing.
It's marketing and people coping and seething, trying to pretend that because it was added in the West and because, like somebody on the staff, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, oh yeah, this is totally it. And I'm like, if you go to the Japanese version, it doesn't exist. That means it's not canon.
There's a whole paragraph missing in the Japanese version. And it's just like, well, I guess someone thought this is how you make money in the West. I don't know. The identity politics thing is lame, and it's like it's in so many fighting games are getting affected now. And I just again thank God the one company I decided to simp for got shielded by Saudi money. Thank you, based Saudi prince. I don't fucking care about your human rights in your country. Just keep my franchises nice and safe and secure, and no modern audiences. Don't worry, Maya and Jenny get to keep their titties. No modern audiences. Just good old-fashioned 90s SNK in the modern era.
Speaking of human rights abuses, we got $10 from KefVid2317 said, sorry I'm late to the party and off topic, but doesn't the UN have anything better to do than go after Japanese media right now? Yeah, and
literally no.
Piggybacking off of the topic about, Guilty Gear, that's another thing too, is that the UN has been wanting to like destroy anime and manga for like decade at this point.
Yeah, because they can't control it.
Yeah, because it is literally destroying all of Western animation, just dunking on it in comics. And so anything that they can't explicitly control, they want destroyed. And so they're creating these like ridiculous standards that don't even exist for like Western stuff at all.
Yep. It's pathetic. And I think I don't want to keep harping on the politics, right? But I do think what one takeaway from this election, I think people on the popular side, because let's be honest, left and right don't fucking exist. There's leftism, but that's like the name for this sort of mentality. But it's populism. Yeah. If you're on the
populism versus statism is really what it is.
Yeah. And if you're on the populist side, there is a takeaway from this election that I'm going to make this the last political statement I make on this show, hopefully. I think this is the show to like just get the politics out, and then we go back to anime bullshit. But the takeaway here is that the people that seem so insurmountably powerful are in fact quite powerless if you just tell them no. Like, remember how they're just going to print 1 million ballots, don't bother voting. They tried, and look what happened. Oh, well, they're going to manipulate everybody's mind. Clearly they didn't. All you have to do to these supposedly all-powerful people is say, nah, nope. And then that's it. They lose power. And that is everywhere. Like, if the FGC could pull their heads out of their asses instantly to just tell all these people, like, excuse me, you can't say that. I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to do it. Tournament organizers, if they just said, yeah, I'm not going to ban that guy. He didn't break the law. If you don't like what he said, kick his ass in the game. If you just did that, then it ends. Overnight, it ends. But for some people, it's too intoxicating, the power that it brings. For other people, it makes them feel safe if they align themselves with people in power, because they're otherwise powerless. But if they wear the banner of whoever's in power, they feel like they have power over their lives. Even if they have none, they can make believe that they have some power by just wearing the banner. And while those people, they do get in the way of everything else, the fact of the matter is, all you have to do is, as a group, as a big enough group, just don't blink, don't flinch, say no. Like the problem with that VTuber we just brought up that then, was playing Tekken and got a little saucy, she apologized, and she shouldn't have. I think she apologized because she was worried about getting banned, and they banned her anyway, which is why I just don't fucking apologize. Because, yeah, I was trying to be funny. This was not racist. There was nothing about this was racist. It was funny ha-has. That's it. And I think, if anything, she would have brought like 1 million new subscribers doing that.
Easily.
Because, just people who seem powerful, all you gotta do is say no. If enough people say no, the power is gone. Power is a social contract. And you would be surprised how easy it is to just tear that motherfucker up. Now, again, I'm not saying, just go rob a bank and just tell the cops no. That's not how it works. But, like, there's a lot
when it comes to something that's like a social contagion or like a social situation, if enough people just say, yeah, no, I don't give a crap. I don't care. They lose all their power, because when people are trying to like bring a mob against you, and I've experienced this personally a couple of times actually, and famously most recently, if you just tell them to go fuck themselves and that you don't care, it goes away. Literally. That's literally all I did. I released like the Niji Sanji joke, and it was basically like a giant, yeah, go fuck yourself. I don't give a shit what you say. And people just walk away, and they're just like, oh, okay, well, okay, and they move on.
Yeah, just say no.
Just say
it's
no.
like what they said about drugs. Just say no.
Just say no. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these kids didn't go through dare, and it shows. You guys have let the fucking lion down.
You need to go catch up, educate yourself, watch that JonTron video on drug PSAs.
Don't do drugs.
drugs. Yeah. This is that's the takeaway. Really, is I think we should learn from all the massive power apparatus that told us Donald Trump bad. He will not have power. He will not win. We will not let him win. He said no, and we said no, and look where he's at now. They threw everything at this man. They tried to kill him. They tried to lock him up. They
tried to destroy all of his businesses, his family.
24/7 relentless propaganda at the people, and he's motherfucking president because he and we said nah, don't care. And that's if you really want power, that's the secret power. That's the all power. Is just to go, don't care. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
So there's your white pill. It turns out the powers that be are that fucking egg-headed turtle man in the supervillain outfit running the fucking little gay little club in Sweden or whatever. Yeah, he can't do dick if you just tell him to go fuck himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because everything that they do requires you to accept the things that they say and do as legitimate. And if you don't, they have literally no power. They need a mass of people to agree with them to do anything. And if you don't, and you just say, nah, go fuck yourself, that's it. Their power's gone.
They're snakes whispering in your ear. Just shoo them, and there you go. That's all they are. A snake ain't a big, scary, powerful. It ain't a fucking bear. It ain't a fucking lion. It's a snake. Granted, I like snakes. I shouldn't talk shit about snakes. But
I'm also a fan of snakes.
Yeah, they're cute. They got the little puppy mouth, and they go. They're cute. If you don't like snakes, I don't like you.
Yeah, but how do they taste?
Don't you dare, man! I don't care what the game's called.
What a thrill.
Just hear Maid Mint shaking, her face getting redder and redder.
She's like, somebody mentioned Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I can sense it in the ether.
Someone in the world just went, what a thrill.
she can sense it. Dude, I would die if she just like popped in like the chat for like a second and went, what was that? I'd be like, it's stream. No, seriously, like I would probably die if one of my Oshis just like popped in the chat. It would be like,
see, that's why,
like heart-stopping moment.
That's why we have to get the politics out of the system, so we don't regularly do politics, so that we can eventually get to a state of legitimacy where we can start inviting our Oshis on.
Right, and they don't see me at my most embarrassing moment. it's like no, don't look. Don't look. I'm talking about based stuff. Come back when I'm talking about like the based anime stuff.
Well, I mean, VTubers can be pretty based. Look at when Ponko played Dustborn.
I love Ponko.
Ponko rules.
Ponko's
you know what? I know what I kind of noticed. Phase Connect is like HoloLive if the memes were real.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah,
it's like HoloLive if the memes were legit. If the memes were in real life.
Yeah, if HoloLive were the gremlins they were in the memes, they'd be Phase Connect.
That's true. That's 100% true. That's beautiful.
And now the question remains: who had the best Dustborn playthrough? Was it Ponko, Sheena, or who was it? Oh shit! I think was it Dizzy that played Dustborn? A third one played Dustborn.
It was Jelly, wasn't it? Who played Dustborn?
Jelly? That was the blue. That was the blue hair. I'm thinking. Yeah. Personally, I'm on Jelly. I'm on Team Jelly because as base as Ponko is, the fact that Jelly is like the closest thing to an actual good girl idol they have, the Dustborn drove her to go full toxic mode.
I was about to say, just broke her spirit.
Dustborn turned her evil, man.
It did. It like collapsed what little say-so was left over.
She just got... But like, then you had Sheena, who was just losing her mind laughing at the game, which is also fucking great. It would just get so comically political or comically left wing that she would just start just losing it. Like you had Ponko that was
Super Iron Bob says, "Phase girl not flying too close to the sun challenge impossible."
Yeah. Man, like I will always love Hololive, but I think more and more I'm becoming a Phase man. Again, like I think Hololive might have to take the number 2 spot. Like, yeah, you are the GOAT, but like, I guess objectively you are number 1. But Phase though, it's like Phase gives me everything that I feel like I'm losing from Hololive as Hololive gets bigger and has to, I guess, be more careful. You could say Phase captures that like eternal 2020s Hololive feel.
Yes, it does. Where there's just like there's a thin veneer.
Yeah,
there's a red line. With Hololive, there's like, 100 lines, and it's like, okay, you can cross a couple of these, but don't pass the 20-yard line. With Phase, it's like, okay, there's a red line. This is the only rule. And you just see like Pippa running at like 100 miles an hour towards it, and Sakura's like, no.
And I feel like as Pippa is trying to rein herself in, like she's trying to be more responsible, even though she can't. She tries, but she can't. But as she tries, more and more the Phase girl becoming more Pippa-like. Like Ponko is the best example. Like everybody's looking at Pippa, and like Ponko sneaking past the line while they're distracted.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's like, "Oh, that Pippa is so crazy. She's like old internet Pippa. Pippa will do some crazy shit, say some crazy shit." Meanwhile, Ponko is just like rubbing her hands together, like fucking Tom with a new scheme to catch Jerry as she scoots past everybody's back and just yooked right over that line.
This is even funny. This is even funnier because everybody's been calling Jelly Jerry. So I just imagine Ponko with Jelly under her arms, like running towards the red line, and she's like, "Gamer words. I'm gonna say the gamer words. I love the gamer words."
And Jelly screaming, "No!
I'm say so! I'm say so!"
With the anime tears, the big anime white eyes with the tears coming out.
The big face.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I'm say so! And Ponko's like, gamer words! I'm gonna say the gamer.
Yeah, if you like Pippa for being boundary pushy, you'll love Ponko. Check out Ponko.
Yeah, Cafe in the chat said Leah's pretty unhinged too. Yeah, she's a different flavor of unhinged.
Yeah. Yes. Leah is like a jittering zoomer, like a fucking.
Leah is the lemonade that kills you of Phase.
Yeah. Leah is what happens if the kid watching Skibbity Toilet finds his mom's trucker speed. That's Leah.
Hopped up on gas station boner pills.
Yeah, hopped up on gas station boner pills and just watched a marathon of Five Nights at Freddy's lore videos. Like, you guys watch Markiplier? I like Markiplier. You want to watch some Markiplier? And just so you could hear their face getting redder. That's Leah.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. So, we got to wrap this up, and we didn't even get to Victoria Brightshield.
Yeah, I guess we'll just briefly talk about that because we didn't talk about Amelia Watson graduating and a little train loving rodent just kind of popped up out of nowhere named Doobie not long after.
I will say it's fast. The Amelia Watson thing is fascinating. It's an interesting direction they're going where she's not gone. She's just not streaming.
Right, like her.
And she might pop in on other things, but she's not going to have her own streaming channel.
She didn't graduate necessarily.
Yeah.
Like she's no longer not gonna. She's like gonna continue to be the character. it's just like the streaming side is no longer there. She's only gonna like guest star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And honestly,
And
I kind of hope that becomes the norm, and maybe they go back and kind of do that for some other previous talent. Because I noticed something very interesting happen when that happened, and Amelia Watson, ceased streaming as Amelia Watson. I noticed that Sana popped back up.
Mm-hmm.
That was very interesting timing for that one. And I wonder maybe possibility there's a chance down the future that the talents that left and on good terms may make a future appearance at some point. Because I mean, just imagine you're like sitting there and it's like an Ian concert, and it's like Amelia's gonna be there, and it's like, oh yeah, Amelia's back, and then like the lights go out, and then all of a sudden you just hear a voice, and you just immediately know, oh, that's the dragon has returned. The dragon has returned. She's interacting with the Ian talents. She's singing songs with the Ian talents. Like
I think
could you imagine the pop when that happens?
Yeah. The only thing is, I feel like even though they left the door open, I feel like there's a bit of bitterness on her part toward the company. Not total bitterness, but like we left on good terms, but we shall never meet again.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is sad. Because I do think, I gotta be blunt, I think she fell off after she left. I think she's just, it ain't the same. And it's not just because she's not the character, right? The content ain't the same. It just feels like it feels like more like she's just retired instead of reincarnated. Like, is this
I guess that's fair. I mean, she has different aspirations now as Kason, where she's she's getting into voice acting and actually like being in the games now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is it's cool. I mean, I don't think she's making the wrong choice. It's a bit of a bummer as someone who's a fan of her as Kiryu Coco, but that just seems to be like I don't think she'll be back. I don't know. Sana is a possibility.
I do think Sana may make an appearance at some point. I feel in my heart of hearts that there may be a Coco moment. Maybe not in the near future, but sometime maybe like 2 years from now, she might just pop back. She might just pop back up for like a very special moment, especially when we get towards like HoloLive's anniversary. I feel like something like that could happen.
Yeah, I agree, because the terms she left on were both amicable, and it doesn't feel like she wanted to leave. It felt like she kind of had to for health reasons. With her other work that she does. For those who don't know, I just just look behind the curtain. But I mean, the standards have changed at this point. Without getting too much, she is a professional artist that does. I think she just worked for like gacha games and shit. Like
Yep. Arknights.
Yeah, like she does real shit. Like it ain't no joke. So she wasn't going to give that up for HoloLive. So she kept doing that because health reasons didn't let her keep streaming. Like it just didn't feel like she wanted to go.
Yeah, and then there was the HoloLive China stuff, and it just everything happened all at once. And
yeah,
if something is putting you in a position where like you just can't do multiple things at once, like it's important to focus on the super important things and just kind of let things fall by the wayside. I've had to do that once or twice.
Yeah, and I feel like it's this precedent that's Amelia Watson set. I think is a good one because like there's no reason to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah,
like, if you can't regularly stream, but you've established enough of a presence where you're still a commodity, then still do stuff. Just don't stream every day. Like you don't need to at that point. You've built yourself up to a point where if you show up, there's going to be a pop off. Like Amelia Watson appears in something that's going to be a selling point in and of itself. Oh, check this thing out. Amelia Watson's in it. What? Amelia's in it? And they're going to check it out. And then she then gets the freedom to do the indie stuff as Doobie. And I think a big reason she did that, if I had to guess, I think she wanted to do stuff that the company wouldn't let her. Like you see, she's already like collabing with other indies.
Yeah, she's going to be at
And-
Mint and Doki's Phantom Thief concert.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think like she wanted to kind of do stuff outside of Hololive's like wall, but not like lock herself out. And I think that's the way to go, honestly. I know there's a concern that like people would just use Hololive as a stepping stone. I do think that's a founded concern. I think like to get this privilege, you should, earn it first. Because well, for some people, like the corporate thing's just not for them. Like that's why Vesper left and just
Yeah.
went back to being Randon. And that's why this isn't for me. I just want to go back to thing, and that's fair. I mean, it's like you miss the interaction he had with the other guys, but that's a completely legit way. You chase your happiness. I think if anyone fucked up, it was Magni Lando. You kind of get the impression he might have. I don't know if been not talked into, but like talked himself into leaving, maybe because Vesper was leaving. And then afterward, like, it just, again, this is a rat, but this is the vibe I get. Afterwards, like, fuck, he's like, don't know what you got till it's gone. Because, like, you didn't, not a lot of his his Magni audience transferred over to Professor Landon, and his opportunity, he didn't have as many connections and opportunities, and you just kind of get the impression that he might be a little bit, I don't want to say bitter is the wrong word, but there might be a realization that mistakes were made. Like probably should have stayed as Magni. Probably
Yeah,
could
he's
have gotten a lot more.
he's looking back at the Green Goblin mask, and the Green Goblin mask is whispering to him, and he's like,
Yeah. It's like, who is huffing the copium now? Yeah. I think, if anything, like, the two guys that left Starzy and are the two sides of, like, making a decision. Like, clearly one made the right decision for him, and clearly one made a rash decision, and it is a lesson to be learned comparing the two. Like, Randon's not as big as he was when he was Vesper, but he seems like he's in his lane. He's thriving. He's flourishing. He's doing good. He's happy. And that's good. I'm glad.
yeah, and that kind of brings us back to Victoria Brightshield, because like the whole reason she joined Niji Sanji is, guess who her two Oshis are? Pomu Rainpuff and Selen Tatsuki. And guess who left Niji Sanji before she even got to debut?
Yeah.
Both Pomu Rainpuff and Selen Tatsuki.
Yeah. Fucking oof.
Like it's like and I said this when she debuted. I was like, man, I don't know like how long she's gonna stay, because like the reason she joined the company, the people she looked up to and wanted to like be friends with aren't there.
And like she had less subs than she did on her past life account.
Yeah, like she never really like, and it was so unfortunate because she is really great. Like she made fantastic stuff, and she was always like I go back to the Say Slam tournament. Like there were some really great moments for her in that, and you could just like tell like she was hoping that she could interact with Doki Bird, but Niji like put the clamp down on it. I think that was the final straw for her. I think that was the moment that she decided, yeah, this just isn't for me. They can't even let this go.
Yeah. And its problem is not only did she lose her two Oshis, she had to deal with the Niji Sanji audience, the Niji Sanji environment, and she didn't even gain anything from it.
No, she didn't. In fact, her
what
leaving
her...
Niji Sanji is actually going to do more good for her than being with the company in the first place.
Yeah. What's her identity, by the way, like her new old identity? Because I feel like
I'll pull this up from Super Iron Bob here. It says, "Watch out for Mogu Ghost. She used to be a VTuber I'd fall asleep to. I hope she comes back."
Yeah. So fuck Niji Sanji. Go watch Mogu Ghost.
Yep,
I mean,
and
it's a shame. She had a damn good design too.
Twitch.tv/Mogu, and it's Mogu Ghost on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also kind of a shame how many good designs are wasted on Niji Sanji. Not many. I don't know what's going on with some of these designs Niji Sanji's pumping out, but Victoria Bright Shield had a good one.
Yep, I agree.
Good design for a good streamer. It's a shame she got screwed. I still say that Love Made Mint, but I liked her better just character name wise as Pomu Rainpuff. That was just that design, that name with her personality and voice. It was just it was perfection.
It really was. That's what made me like love Pomu. Is just like she was who she was. Like she sounded like the character. Like every time I picture the character and hear her voice, it matched.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it even better because it was also kind of it was Gap Moe in a little ways, because she's like this cutesy fairy character and she's also like, I love Metal Gear.
I'm gonna sing Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. the Gap Moe was strong with her.
Yeah.
Pixie Misa in chat says, I'm Pomu.
We are all Pomu. Oh yeah, and she did amazing streams as Pomu, like the going on a date with Pomu, which I had to pop in. It's like, she does not seem like the GFE type. What's going on here? And sure enough, it was a weird choose your own adventure stream where the chat voted on options that leads into this whole thing where like the chat ends up with this underground resistance with Pomura Inpuff against the resistance against the Pomu-ification of the world where everyone is becoming Pomu. And at one point in the choose your own adventure thing, they end up you end up robbing a bank with her for some reason. It goes into a bank robbery.
No joke, she's seriously one of the most talented people like alive. Yeah. I mean, she's the one that for the anniversary of Lazulite custom printed an acrylic standee and launched it into space with a weather balloon. Like that was dope. That was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. She did all kinds of really I remember when she debuted one of her outfits and the way she did it was like it was like in an omelet or something, and it was like the omelet was being eaten around her instead of doing the whole pan down thing VTubers usually do. She's like taking bites out of the omelet to reveal herself. It was weird, but it was, no one else was doing it.
She's so crazy, and I love her for it.
Yeah. If anything, I wish she would do more stuff like that as Made Mint, like just weird, inventive streams,
weird
like
off the wall stuff.
Yeah, I want to see a date with
it.
I want to see a date with Made Mint that leads into a fucking bank robbery. I want to see that. I highly recommend. I don't know if Niji purged her channel or not, but find the date with Pomu Rainpuff stream.
If not, I'm sure there's probably clips out there of it.
Yeah, or an archive of it. But see if you can find. Just watch that stream. Just to see the escalation. Just how it starts, like, she's the romantic lighting, and they go, we're in a dinner date, and then just the places that the dialogue choices go, and just how it goes into this fucking bank robbery resistance movie.
Yeah, Super Iron Bob, he is the knower of the lore. He says it's one of her earliest streams, and it was art. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, absolute art. Like if anything, though, I feel like companies often bring out the best in some of these VTubers because they go indie and they don't do weird shit like this anymore.
I know. It's sad. I guess it's just like the comfort of knowing that like you do have the Corpo backing, so you can go out there and be like a fucking little weirdo like Pippa.
Well, Pippa's in her own lane with her stream topics. It's just like everybody else is playing games, and she's like, I need a Krabby Patty. Well, she played Deus Ex recently, but also a lot of it's like, hey, Krabby Patty, let's watch Karens. I mean, today I think she was like doing, what was it, like celebrities flipping out on people. She is kind of becoming a bit of a React Andy, but it's fine because she's unhinged, so she's adding content. And Lord knows with the tangents, half of it's a React stream and half of it's a fucking a schizophrenic Zatsu.
With a dash of really bad takes on top of it that drive chat insane. And so it turns into a two retards fighting stream.
Yeah. Bad takes are great when you're an entertainer and you're giving the bad takes during your entertainment. Like if I was watching a podcast of someone like, I was like, oh, this guy's an idiot, I wouldn't listen to his podcast because he's not like making for an interesting discussion. That's what you want like a podcast for. It's like basically like a discussion kind of thing. Even if they're having a discussion with your head, you know what I mean? Like you're thinking about what they're saying and either agreeing or disagreeing, but you're having like a mental debate. But if someone gives a really, really bad take, it's like, oh God, this is trash. But if someone gives a really, really bad take while they're putting on a show, it's just more giggles.
It's more
for the
entertainment. Because you're just like, wow, did you really just say that?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Pippa, how can you say the Joker 2 was good? And then, she starts yelling at Chad. She's like, shut up! Shut up!
Yeah. She says Joker 2 is good. Chat goes nuts, and then now there's a fight, and I am entertained. I'm Caesar in the Colosseum with my thumb
She
up.
becomes a Hideo Kojima fan because he liked it. and she's like, okay, I'm going to go play a Hideo Kojima game now because he said it was good. And so Chad, you can eat shit. And they're just like, no, Pippa, it was a bad. You have a shit to take. Like, oh yeah, well, fuck you, Chad. I'm gonna go play a Hideo Kojima game because he said it was good and I said it was good, so that makes it Kojima based. That's why I love Pippa.
I've never not been entertained by Pippa stream. This has become VTuber gushing, but
It really has.
but yeah, Mogu Ghost, go check her out.
Yep, twitch.tv/Mogu. I am sure that I'm sure that you will see Mogu pop up a lot more in the future.
Yes. So I think that covers the gist of everything.
Yeah, yep, pretty much everything. All right.
Yeah, and if we hurry, we can get it under 4 hours.
Yeah, we actually can. Yeah, it's 3:30 as far as the time on the stream here. So that is a perfect spot to wrap it up, actually. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I want to thank everybody for sending in a super chat. We actually had like over $100 in super chats. So I'm like, whoa, that's based. That's based. We have the best chat, don't we, folks? We have the best chat. We have the best chatters, the most based chatters, the most red-pilled, based and red-pilled chatters.
You gotta make sure while you're saying this at all times, your hands are showing what size fish you got.
Yeah, actually, I was doing the hand signs. I was doing the Trump hand wave. I was like, we have the best chatters, the most based red-pilled chatters of all.
Yeah, he's so used to gassing stuff up. He's always telling you about the huge fish he got with his hands.
Huge, huge super chats. There's so many super chats. Over $100 super chats is huge, fantastic. All right, but if you're listening to this on the podcast feed, on Spotify, on Apple, pretty much anywhere podcast feeds can be found, you can watch these shows live on youtube.com/animeboomers. You can also go to animeboomers.live/show. It'll take you right to it, or animeboomers.live/podcast for the audio version for people that are watching it live. I'm going to get the feed caught up. That is my project, is to get all of the feeds caught up on the podcast, because we did a lot of live shows, and because of that, I kind of because I used to use an app on Discord that let me like record all of the voices, but I had issues with it, and we were streaming live, so I stopped using it instead of like recording it and posting them. So I kind of let that fall by the wayside. But I'm gonna go and edit out all of the gamer words from the episodes that I uploaded that I didn't put on the podcast feed. Get that caught up as best as I can. And I think I said the last podcast before December, or they get to call me like whatever slur they want, and I just have to deal with it. So I'm gonna do that. Get that updated. And that'll be, of course, on animeboomers.live/podcast. All the podcast feeds will be updated. I stream on youtube.com/thegatorgamer. That's my personal channel. I'm pretty much everywhere on Twitch at twitch.tv/thegatorgamer. Kick.com/gatortime. Lord, I'm pretty much everywhere. You could find me wherever. Don't forget about Cody. He does this little comic called Cloud Scratcher. It's cloudscratcher.com. If you like your old school 90s Saturday morning cartoons, with the animal characters. That's what he does.
And I can promise you this: no politics in it.
No politics. It's
Which
all just
is both a reference to this episode we just had, and the fact that apparently this is a very tall order with anybody's fucking content, anybody's fucking comics and stories in the modern age. Jesus Christ.
yeah, for real.
No politics, no fetishes. It's just all ages friendly adventure and intrigue, and it's got plenty of lore for the kids in their wikis.
And Necro's still here, I think. But he
Yep,
streams
oh, yeah.
on twitch.tv/Necro13. That's XIII.
Yep.
And he's gonna be
Because,
doing
my
some more
streams are bad.
content. Wait,
Man. Oh, and you know what? Can I do a quick plug?
Heck yeah,
Because he
do
was
it.
in here earlier. He might still be here. But shout out to my man Knox the Last, because he has been like the GOAT this whole time. He's like, nah, this PC that you need, I'm gonna fund that PC, and it's gonna be pretty lit. Unfortunately, the scalpers have already taken all the new Ryzen 7 9800 X3D chips, so I guess I can go fuck myself. So we gotta settle for the next best. And
aw.
and so like, you know, it's all this stuff, but I'm like, I think I might do that. But he's been like the GOAT. He's like setting up this PC, and then we're gonna have a PC building stream when that's ready to go. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be huge. Gonna be great. Gonna be base.
Because all my shit's breaking. You guys remember my microphone, the other one that I used
Oh,
for like
yeah, it
YouTube for
literally
like 1,000,001
died.
years? Yeah, like I was like, oh, like it's not turning on, and I did all the troubleshooting. I was like, guys, I think it's just broken. So I tried it on like another computer and like another thing, and it's no bueno. So that was unfortunate. And then like some chargers that I had died, cords, different hardware. I'm just like, what the fuck? All this stuff is like actual 10 years old. But you know, I guess it is what it is.
All
That's the
right.
real MVP, though.
The GOAT.
He's the GOAT!
All right. Well,
You
that
know,
will do
that
it.
man was just passionate. Yeah, just he's passionate about it. Go ahead, do the outro.
Yeah, well,
Follow me.
that'll do it for this episode. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We are, as I said, we guys. We are going to send you guys over to Mr. Armchair Expert. He's talking about some bad VTuber Corpo statements. We didn't really get a chance to talk about the EN project and the the dumb shit that they put out there. So definitely
Listen.
tune in to Armchair Expert, and you'll hear him dissect how stupid it was to like try to get the last word in after your company is announced it's shutting down.
Yeah, I learned the deep lore of that. It's a good watch. Go check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Godspeed to the IN, or how you pronounce it, girls. It's a shame that the one fish girl couldn't keep her model, because she had one of the coolest VTuber designs in the whole business. If his company's shutting down, give the fish girl her model back.
For real. For real. All
She
right.
was cash.
All right, guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to send you on over to Armchair Expert, already in progress.